important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Chris Raunchy, Amy Mark scores. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Well, good morning, all y'all. How you doing?
Great.
Chris and Amy Show, like that guy just said, we're with you till 12 o'clock today, and we appreciate you being along for the ride. And we have a phone number for you to call and text at 314-436-7900. That is the talk line, the text line, the place where you go to file your complaints about pretty much anything in life. It doesn't matter to us. We also have a voicemail line that you can record a message and send it. That is on the Odyssey app, where you can also listen to the station live. You can listen to Cardinals baseball live, as long as you're in the area. You have to be in the St. Louis area for that. Otherwise, Major League Baseball will come after you with a stick. Anything else? We're streaming live. You want to watch us on Facebook or YouTube? We've got the KMOX news pages, which you should be following. Follow us on YouTube for sure. Subscribe to the channel, KMOX News. And we are also on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, the national debt is now at $40 trillion, but what does that actually mean for you in your daily life? We'll talk to Dave Simons. He joins us at 10 o'clock.
And an Illinois family that came to St. Louis for their daughter's surgery got caught in the middle of wild shooting in the Central West End. Their story is harrowing, and the father in the story, Mike Kelsey, will join us at 11 a.m. to recount that evening.
Cardinals back home tonight. They got the Orioles in town. We'll have the game at 6:45, pregame at 5:50, and it also happens to be Oliver Marmol Day on the Gas House Gang. He will join the show at 12. Bernie, Tom, and me will talk to the Cardinals manager like we do every Tuesday at noon. So, yes, they're back in town. It's also a very big day today. Huge day.
Yes.
I
had to tell you about it, though.
I didn't know.
You didn't know, and then you didn't believe me. You said, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, and I had to look it up. It was one of those.
Make this up.
It was a trust but verify kind of thing, you know? I do trust you, but I want to look it up for myself.
I wouldn't make this up.
Today is pumpkin spice latte
Unbelievable.
Day. It's August 25th. It is still warm. It's nice today so far. It's going to get warmer.
A little warmer than yesterday morning, which almost was cool/fall adjacent. Yesterday morning was.
It was.
Some of the temperatures around the areas in the 50s. This morning was warmer, a little bit more humid.
So we're going to have like high 80s later in the week, but it's already pumpkin spice latte time at Starbucks.
I feel about pumpkin spice latte the way I feel about parades, which is I don't really like it, but I love knowing that it's there. I love knowing that it's going on. I love knowing other people are doing it. I just don't like the pumpkin spice latte.
Now, this coincides with I have already been seeing for the last couple of weeks, and I have had some friends who have posted videos and photos from stores where the Halloween decorations are already out. Summerween.
Makes me feel fine.
It's
Matt
already.
has been singing Summerween all morning.
It's already happening. So I know we kind of do this.
Didn't I send you guys a text at least 2 weeks ago from a store called At Home? It's like Home Goods. Yeah, it's been out because there was a banjo playing skeleton that weirdly looked kind of like Matt.
Okay, well, didn't need that part.
Poor guy's just taking a beating from everybody.
It was an Art Garfunkel skeleton.
Yeah. It kind of was. I don't know how, but it was.
So I think this is, I know this is a problem for everybody every year. It's too early for this stuff. Oh, the Christmas decorations are out in October.
Yeah.
Way too early for do you feel the same way about Halloween decorations? Do you feel the same way about pumpkin spice latte?
Yeah.
Because it's not even September yet?
Do you think they do it for the kids? Because the kids are in school. I was so wrong yesterday. I named 10 school districts and all of them and their start dates, and I think I was wrong on all of them. But at any rate, a lot of kids, most kids are in school now. Do you think maybe the pumpkin spice is a consolation prize? Because for the kids, it's no longer summer.
Consolation to who?
The kids. It's no longer summer.
Well,
And the parents, maybe the parents, they have to bring the kids to school.
How many kids are getting pumpkin spice lattes?
Oh my gosh. Starbucks after school lets out is armies, especially
Armies?
with the Catholic schools, armies of
Where?
plaid skirts.
They're so
Armies
young
of
to be
plaid
drinking
skirts.
coffee. They're too
Well,
young.
but Starbucks isn't real coffee. It's got the refreshers. It's got like the dragon
Yeah, I guess
drink
that's
and the
true.
pink drink. And like a Frappuccino, you can get a coffeeless Frappuccino.
I used to live Clark and Belmont in Chicago. Is like, I don't know, about 4 or 5 blocks south of Wrigley, and there used to be a Dunkin' Donuts on the corner.
Yeah.
And that's where all the kids would go before and after school, I guess, waiting for the bus or whatever. And true story, or this is urban lore, but we do know that he used to go to this bar, and I've told you about it.
Wait, true story, but also an urban legend?
Part of it is.
Okay.
True story that Jeffrey Dahmer used to hang out at this bar directly across the street, which faced this Dunkin' Donuts.
In Chicago?
Yes. And John Wayne Gacy also.
What?
But the lore is that Dahmer would sit in the window and stare out across the street at the Dunkin' when the kids were there.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's a horrible way to start the day.
Welcome. Dunkin'. The Dunkin' is gone. It's a Target now. They
I'm
tore it
glad
down.
it's gone.
It's a Target.
It kind of had a bad history. Well, I
Yeah.
will say, Matthew, in his neck of the woods, there used to be a Starbucks at the corner and near his neighborhood. And that one, right around between 2:30 and 3:30, bikes, scooters, kids walking. I mean, it looked like an invasion of children would like make their way, which I mean, that's fun. I'm glad it's good to see kids outside, but it is funny because what was the 80s equivalent? Was it gas station? Where did kids go? Would they get a snack? We lived so far in the boonies, we couldn't walk anywhere. You know, so I never had those memories of walking to a store.
I guess we really didn't have that. I mean, we had, when I was growing up, we had a movie theater in town that we would all go to on Fridays and Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
But that
not
was
like
like
a
grade school.
post-school.
No, not really.
Yeah.
People just kind of, you're either playing sports or you went home. And if there was a place where everybody hung out, I'm not sure where that would be.
Yeah. Like I said, we lived too far out.
Maybe I just wasn't invited. So if you
Aw.
lived in Granite City in the early 90s, let me know if I was not invited to the post-school spot.
There's a really famous one in Granite City. You're the only one that doesn't know about
Probably.
it. That's sad.
I really don't. Yeah, I don't think there was a place where everybody gathered. When I was really little, I thought it's going to be the Baskin Robbins. We're going to hang out at the Baskin Robbins. This is where I want to hang out, and that didn't happen.
That is so cute.
I know, right?
That's so sad and so cute.
Well, nobody did that. I was hoping it would be a thing by the time I got into high school, and that's not what happened. So we are going to talk to Bill McClellan today, columnist for the Post-Dispatch, and he's also a panelist on Donnybrook, where Amy sometimes appears. And Bill wrote a column about being a police officer in St. Louis. And the question he asks is, why would you want to do it? Why would you want to be a cop in St. Louis, and listing all the reasons why it may not be an attractive job for people, and certainly compensation is one of them, because it is an underpaid position relative to a lot of other cities that are like us. So we kind of want to hear from you.
Yes.
If you are a police officer, and this is all anonymous, you don't have to give your name or anything. If you are a police officer, or if you had considered it and decided not to do it, give us your thoughts on this. Why would you want to do it? Because we are interested.
And I will say, if you were a city cop, because I know that surrounding departments, Clayton, Kirkwood, St. Louis County, they'll poach cops from St. Louis City because you have well-trained cops working in the city, and you can offer them a lot more cash. You can offer them, definitely at times or previously a more supportive environment. And definitely, as Bill McClellan points out in his column, and a lot of times less violent, maybe. You're not going to see quite as much violence and action in that sense. But I will also say, again, all anecdotal, but from cops that I've talked to over the years, especially city cops, I'd asked them, man, you could make more in Clayton or in Wildwood or wherever. Why are you a city cop? And I will say pretty much everyone had said, because I love this city and I want to help people and I want to solve crime. I didn't become a cop to write speeding tickets to soccer moms.
Yeah.
You know, I did. That's not why I became a cop. I didn't want to just sit there and pull people over, you know, on Manchester or whatever. And so there is that. But then if you have that motivation, but then now you have a couple of kids and someone offers you $20,000 more a year, aren't you almost obligated in some ways to take the money if it can help you support your family?
Yeah, I guess it depends on what you really want. And compensation has been a very big story. Obviously, last week, there was the situation at the wake of a police officer and the police union taking exception to Mayor Spencer talking with a couple of young officers at that wake about compensation, saying it was the wrong setting. Then they made a public statement and a whole big stink about it. And then for the next several days, the mayor had to comment on it. The association commented on it, though they never took our invitation to be on this show. But they listened to it. They listened to the interviews, and Chief Tracy commented on it as well. There was their police board meeting that got a little tense. So that's been a conversation because that is all starting with compensation for officers. That was what the discussion was. So we are interested. Go ahead and text us. Let us know. 314-436-7900. And this would be a good time to utilize the voice message feature on the Odyssey app as well. It's really easy to do. You should have the Odyssey app anyway because you can listen to the show live. Go there. There's a button that says record a message or leave a message, something like that. It's self-explanatory. You'll figure it out. Record a message and send it. You do not have to give us your name.
Yeah.
You tell us whatever you want to. Why or why not be a police officer in St. Louis? And Bill McClellan will be joining the show at 9:30. And we appreciate you listening in. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Ann Wagner from Missouri's 2nd District. I work every day to put more money in your pocket, secure the border, protect our shared Missouri values, and keep our communities safe. Whether it's visiting one of my public events in neighborhoods around the district or by contacting my office, I want to hear from you. If you need help with a federal agency, please contact me at wagner.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Closeout season is heating up at Seidenstricker Nobe Partners with sizzling hot summer savings on John Deere compact tractor packages. For a limited time, get $3,500 off the S&P price on a John Deere 2025R with a loader, plus 0% financing with zero down. Find compact tractor package savings at snpartners.com. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 8/31/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Sometimes historic events suck. But what shouldn't suck is learning about history. I do that through storytelling. History That Doesn't Suck is a chart-topping history-telling podcast, chronicling the epic story of America, decade by decade, from the 18th century to the 20th. Original music and immersive sound design accompany us on our storytelling journey. Listen to and follow History That Doesn't Suck, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. In a clinical study, Eliquis apixaban reduces stroke risk and has less major bleeding than warfarin.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Ask your doctor about the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner, Eliquis.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you on a Tuesday morning. And Ranj, the Metrolink, all around St. Louis and the St. Louis area, been running since the early 1990s. Well, the Metrolink has officially completed installing turnstiles into all of its Metrolink stations. It was a $62 million effort to make sure that all the platforms had turnstiles and the technology that requires riders to pay fares. And this is Talby Roach, director of Bi-State Development, celebrating the completion of this installation.
We have gates, right? Here they are right over my shoulder. Aren't they not incredible? And what are gates? Gates represent trust. So think of this in the 1980s and 90s when we're developing a system like this, a public system. No matter what, when you're challenged, when you're leaders of the public, you're asked, what does the public want to see as they develop their St. Louis of the future? And we had that at the time. Self-taxing initiatives in St. Louis County, the city of St. Louis, and in St. Clair.
So I do not want to poo-poo this moment because I have been calling for turnstiles at the Metrolink for a long, long time. Major cities have turnstiles on their public transportation systems. They're important for security and making sure that the people who are using that public transportation for real needs, getting to work, getting to school, getting around their neighborhoods, that they have a protected, safe environment. It's basic 101, I think, public transportation. So I feel a little bit like, dude, I'm glad it's done. But it's not like this groundbreaking idea. This should have been done 30 years ago.
And what are gates?
Matt disagrees.
What?
So
you disagree with that sentiment that gates are trust?
Oh.
Well, it's the opposite of that. But
what
you
are
keep
gates?
out things that you don't trust.
Gates are trust?
Yeah.
Well,
gates represent trust.
I trust you so much, I want you on the other side of the gate.
Yeah, and then we're going to lock it, too. So
it's just very basic. I know, like, Michael Calhoun has talked about this. You know, he's got his finger on the pulse of the city and public transportation and like, why do we not have turnstiles?
I don't think it's that outrageous that they didn't have it. There are multiple cities that have that. I guess they call it proof of payment, which it seems counterintuitive, but that's what they call it, where it's just on a street level and you walk up and you go in. I know Dallas had it. San Diego had it for a while. Denver.
Don't get me wrong. I get it.
Well, here's the reason they do it. The reason they do it is cities feel like the cost of installing everything they need to cost and then maintaining it over the years is less than people who are getting on without a fare. So like the fare evaders, they feel like, well, we're just going to save more money in the end. We will deal with the fare evasion because it's going to cost us a ton of money to upkeep all of these gates and then maybe have to have security and all that stuff over the years.
Which to
so
me
it's
is
not
little,
like stupid that we didn't have
it's
it.
a little
There was good
one-dimensional.
reason behind it.
It's one-dimensional because you're only looking at it from a monetary perspective and not a safety perspective, because I would say gates are because we don't trust everybody, because there are ne'er-do-wells, because people who have no intention to use public transportation for the primary purpose of public transportation, which is to get citizens to their jobs, to their schools, to the grocery store, wherever they need to be, to baseball games. The gates protect and separate the genuine, valid users of the system and those people who are going on to cause trouble or to hang out and to not use the system in the way it is meant to be used. So it goes beyond, fare evaders. For me, it's less about the fare evaders and it's more about the safety, because data does show that gates do mean safety. That even in New York with the subway system,
Chicago,
scammers would jam the nickels, and it was once they really started paying attention to the subways that they helped save the subway system by making sure the turnstiles were functional.
And Chicago, they've got turnstiles, and they have issues on their L system as well. They got a lot of, I wouldn't say it's a lot. I think a lot is relative, because we talk about it like every time you get on the Metrolink, you're in danger. And that's not true. I know people who write it all the time, and out of necessity sometimes, but other times just to do it. And they don't typically have issues when they're on it. It does happen sometimes, yes, but I think we talk about it as if you just can't get on the train, otherwise you're going to be murdered. And I just don't think that's true. But also I don't think you can discount cost, because as a city we do have to think about stuff like that too.
Yes, but I will say, if people say, oh, the gate, it's like the same thing that Metrolink didn't want armed guards because they thought it was intimidating. Well, it's probably only intimidating to the people who don't want to do well, because they have since switched, I believe, with some of the guards or the police are armed, because you had that security guard that was shot in the head, the former Marine, just shot in the head at a Metrolink station. I think this whole idea that somehow turnstiles or gates are intimidating to people, I don't buy it. Major cities, public transportation, turnstiles are very normal.
I'm going to disagree with that. I don't think that was the main reason we didn't have turnstiles. I think it was cost.
Well, I will say this, having interviewed people with Bi-State, it has come up in the interviews that is a reason why.
I'm sure it's come up, but I doubt it was the number one reason. I guarantee you it was because it cost money to build them and then to maintain them. And so we'll see. I mean, ultimately, maybe it's hugely beneficial to the area. I don't know. I'm not mad that they did it, but I don't know how much of a difference it's going to end up making.
I think
a material difference.
I think the difference will be noticed by the everyday users. I don't think it's like, now we'll have 100,000 people use Metrolink. It's not going to be that.
Well, that's what I'm curious about. The everyday users, do they really feel like they're in danger all the time they get on? Because if they did, would they do it?
Remember when we had the Marin months ago, and she said that she feels unsafe on the Metrolink?
Who?
The mayor, Care Spencer.
The mayor. Okay.
Yes.
No, I don't remember her saying
like
that.
6 months ago.
Okay.
Said, yeah, I felt unsafe on the Metrolink. And so
But people who write it every day?
We can ask. Maybe that's our question tomorrow.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX, and when we come back, Bill McClellan, columnist for the Post-Dispatch, will join us. He wrote about being a St. Louis police officer and why you'd want to do it. We'll talk to him next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Nobody plans on being in a serious accident, but if it happens to you, you want a law firm that's been fighting for people in our community for decades. That's Cantor Injury Law. Call 314-628-9999 or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com. Injured, you can count on Cantor.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be based solely on advertisements.
Now, KMOX weather from the Stalica Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Absolutely gorgeous morning, 74 degrees, pleasant today, intervals of clouds and sunshine, a high of 87, tonight partly cloudy, a low of 68.
Brought to you by USPS Ground Advantage.
Pump up
the volume. Business moves fast. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
All access with Ollie Marmol on the Gas House Gang.
When things aren't going well, I feel like there is a responsibility to answer to it. Even the kid that apologized for yelling, "Let's go, wake up." His seats were the first seats right behind the dugout. You paid good money for those. You get the yell. So if you have an opinion, if you have questions, I'd rather take the time, especially when things aren't going the way our fan base would like, just answer those.
Ollie Marmol, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Brew, and between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. That's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
All right, I have some unbelievably fantastic news coming up. I heard from a customer that I threw my hat in the ring for the 2028 election for president. Oh, man. You just got to read the article. I like the way it was written. Hopefully it's not AI, because if it's not, well, I say hopefully it's not AI, because it's if an individual did this, they are very talented and funny. Now, that being said, if you're the type of person that can go to a comedy club and get mad, don't go to my website. Don't call me. Call my competitors. But yeah, check out the website. It's bartinman.com. And if you would like to put in a vote, or you would like to reassure me that you would vote for me, do not call 314-293-2600. Again, if you wanted to vote for me for president, do not call 314-293-2600. God bless.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Well, we have an honored guest in Studio B right now, Bill McClellan, columnist for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Also, you see him on Donnybrook every week. He had a piece, I think, intriguingly titled, "Why Would Anyone Want to Be a St. Louis City Cop?" And he joins us in studio today. So good to see you.
Hey, good to see you, Amy.
Thanks for coming in. We were talking about the old days of newspapers and reporting and the smoke-filled newsrooms. I didn't get to see any of those, only on TV, but I do love those days. News is quite different now.
Oh yeah, and I'm old enough that I remember those days. You know, when I was working in Phoenix, I started, I think it was in 1975, and we worked on typewriters and the clickety-clack of the wire service machines, and smoke was everywhere. And the city editor would actually holler, "Copy, copy," and copy boys would run over, and we would write on the typewriters with mimeograph. I guess that's the word. I'm not sure where. You'd have that black piece of paper between. So we would produce 2 pieces of paper, and one would go here and one would go there. Those days were great fun. Still fun. I mean, the newspaper business, even now, is still fun. Just not as forgiving as it once was.
No, it's a lot easier in some respects to do the tedious work because there's not as much, but it's a lot harder in other respects too.
Well, I can tell you, Chris, that the young people at the paper today work much harder than me and my friends in the old days. I memean, we would spend a lot of time at the Missouri Grill. And, the young people really can't believe that things were that slack, because there's fewer of them and they have to do more. And I'm impressed with the fact that they do as well as they do.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming in, and especially since last week, obviously, a lot of the headlines surrounded the tension between Mayor Kara Spencer, the statement issued by the Police Officers Association regarding discussions that she had at the funeral of a young officer, saying, they were talking about compensation and so forth. And just the tension is constantly surrounding conversations around the police department. But then you asked, I think, a very simple question, which gets to the root of the matter. And I'll just read the first line of your column. Why would anybody in their right mind want to be a St. Louis cop? And then you talked to former St. Louis police officers.
Well, he's still a current St. Louis police officer.
Still right. A current police officer. Yeah. So I guess first, what did motivate you to look into that question?
Well, I had wanted to talk to Lucas Roethlisberger. He's the officer for a while. He's been shot twice. I think he joined the department in 2008, and he was shot in 2010 and nearly died, very seriously injured. And then he came back to duty and he was shot again. And both times it was in car stops, which are routine but dangerous. And I had wanted to do a story on Lucas leaving home in the morning going to work, because nobody knows better than Lucas and his wife Courtney that any day could be your last on the chaotic streets of St. Louis. But Lucas did not feel comfortable with me doing something from his home, and didn't want his kids involved or mentioned in it. So I had to do the interview downtown at the police headquarters. But it was a story I wanted to write because, like you say, with all the talk about compensation and this and that, I thought, essentially, I don't think you can pay those guys enough. And the mayor is in a difficult situation, I think, because the system, the most generous part of the police pay package is the benefits and retirement. And yet that's not going to keep a young person on the force, because when you're in your 20s and your 30s and maybe in your 40s, you're not thinking about retirement. You need money to pay the bills. And so it's a difficult position for the mayor.
So, I mean, if money isn't necessarily the issue, and I think it's got to be for a lot of people, because it is, it can be dangerous work and you want to be compensated fairly for it. What does drive somebody to want to do it?
Well, Chris, I don't quite get it myself, because you could go to Brentwood or Clayton or Kirkwood and make more money and be in much less danger. I mean, the Kirkwood, there have been policemen killed there. Yeah. Probably not a good example, but it's less dangerous. It's always dangerous work when you're stopping people, but it's much less dangerous. And if there's a police shooting in Minneapolis, they're not going to riot in Wildwood, but there might be riots in St. Louis. So what motivates somebody to take less money and work in a more dangerous environment, it's kind of like in the service, I mean, why people would want to be a Navy SEAL, or I was drafted into the Marine Corps during Vietnam, and I remember thinking, what kind of person joins the Marine Corps in the middle of an unpopular war? And, well, it was 18, 19, 20-year-old kids doing it, where the police, we're talking about fellas in their 30s and 40s. So I don't understand it.
What answers did you get from talking to police officers?
Well, not to my mind satisfactory in the sense that, hey, now I understand, because I don't. I mean, Lucas talked about it's really not about the money. It's about helping people. And I think there is a sense in the St. Louis Police Department of kind of a family thing and a certain thing about being a big city cop. I think, it is like, say, the Marine Corps, where you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself.
Rather than just, like I was saying, writing speeding tickets to soccer moms.
Right.
You're helping people. You're helping to solve real crime in a real city. There's swagger, and I think there should be swagger, in a city. I think, I feel cool working downtown St. Louis because you're in a real city.
Right. And, I was a night police reporter for the newspaper back in 81 and 82. And I got to know a lot of cops very well. And there was that feeling of big city cops, and almost like this is much more like a movie than if you're a police officer in Wildwood.
Yeah.
So how do you think we do this? Because the police department has been, according to them, they've been doing better at recruiting, retention, even returning some officers who had left previously and have come back to the police force. So they are making progress, but they're not where they want to be in terms of the numbers. So, I mean, what do you think they need to do to get back to the level they need to be at?
That's a good question, Chris, and I'm not sure, because this isn't just a problem in St. Louis. I mean, Phoenix, Los Angeles, Chicago, all of these big city police departments, when people, especially when you have a family and your wife or your husband, depending on gender there, says, hey, you can make more money and be in less danger if you work just, a zip code or two away. So I'm not sure how you do. Certainly that money is more important than the benefits package, than the retirement. But, here in St. Louis, the mayor's hamstrung again by the deal that the Board of Aldermen made years ago with firefighters, that there's parity.
Yeah.
That now if the police officers got a raise, the firefighters got a raise. And apparently there's more firefighters in supervisory positions than cops, because they were talking about if you give all the lieutenants in the police department a raise, more people got a raise in the fire department. And the fire department, the Firefighters Association, very powerful politically, and they were very strong for Kara Spence, so I don't think that she's going to want to turn on them. So that complicates things, too.
Did you have any issue with everything that went down last week? And I know we talked about it with the mayor and the police union and then the Chief Tracy, where there was that tension, and then her talking to a couple of officers at the wake.
Well, my thinking on it was, I think that the mayor meant well and to show up at the funeral, but she shouldn't have been talking about anything involving compensation. I'm a member of the Newspaper Guild, and if there was a funeral and the publisher showed up, we'd think, well, that's nice. But then if the publisher was talking to a couple young reporters and the union guys would go and say, what was she talking about? And it was, well, compensation. We'd say, hey, she should talk to the union about that. But that's difficult for her because the police board doesn't seem to show much respect to her. And I thought, from what I read, that Chief Tracy was way out of line, mischaracterizing what she said as an apology, when it sounded to me more like it was an explanation that, hey, I didn't really do this. And so I thought that Tracy was way out of line, and the mayor shouldn't have been talking at all about compensation.
You know, and I know my stories are anecdotal, having talked to police officers throughout the years. When I'm downtown, when I'm in Forest Park, I talked extensively to the father of Officer Tamaris Bohannon, who was ambushed back in, was it 2020 or 2021? Excuse me. It was the 2021 when a man staged a help call. So then when the police came, he shot them from the second-story window. And Officer Bohannon was killed. And I talked a lot to his dad about, you know, why would you be a St. Louis City cop for all of the reasons that you mentioned? And he did talk about it. It seems to be echoed to everyone I talked to, because they really want to make a difference, because they love the city of St. Louis, because they want to help, have this sense of wanting to help bring about justice for people who are victims of crime. They want to make the city safer. So all of those convictions are deeper than maybe, you know, what we may think like, well, you could go to the county and have less interaction or less dangerous interactions. At the same time, almost all of the cops that I talked to, again, all anecdotal, said that cash helps. Like, more salary helps. Like, there are young cops who start with the city and then move to the county because the county offers them $15,000, $20,000 more up front, you know, with their salary. Right. And if you've got young kids, you've got bills to pay. So you're not thinking about the retirement package.
Right. Oh, exactly right. I mean, I think the city really has to pay more to the cops to keep them, and to try to recruit them for certain.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what else they could do outside of that. That's probably the number one thing I would think. But you know,
well,
hopefully,
and of course, there's also, Chris, you know, the matter of respect from the city leaders, which I think is actually pretty good now. You know, I think that people mischaracterize the mayor if they say she's anti-police, but
I don't get that from her at all.
Right? No, I don't either. But not so long ago, when Mayor Tashara Jones was the mayor and Cori Bush was the congresswoman, and, you know, Megan Green, president of the Board of Aldermen, I think the police justifiably felt disrespected and besieged on all sides. I think that the city has changed in that way.
Bill McClellan with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. It was great to talk to you. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. You have more emails to respond to today?
Well, you know,
you got, this is your email day.
It's my email day.
That's right.
You know, my computer at home is not linked to the Lee computer system.
They
All
don't
these
allow
things
it, right?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well,
got to be very careful.
I'll be careful. All right.
I know you will.
All right.
Thank you. Bill McClellan, good to see you. It is a Chris and Amy show. And by the way, if you are an officer, thought about becoming a police officer, whatever, and you have decided to do it or not, tell us why. At 314-436-7900, text in or leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
James Beard award-winning chef Kevin Nashin announces The Clydesdale, a Clark Avenue Tavern at Ballpark Village, opening August 27th. KMOX is excited for this highly anticipated American tavern, rooted in familiar favorites, elevated through refined technique and premium ingredients. Reservations for The Clydesdale are now open. Book your table and experience a fresh take on tavern dining on one of the most iconic streets in Major League Baseball. For details and reservations, visit stlballparkvillage.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Homeowners, I know a lot of you are worried about one thing when it comes to selling, and that's leaving money on the table. Hey, this is Kevin Wheeler. I'm here with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So, Gloria, how do you help sellers make sure that they get top dollar?
The reality is, most homes don't sell for what they should. I see it happen all the time. They either price it wrong or they don't create enough demand. But with over 2,400 buyers in my Buyers in Waiting database and my exclusive pricing strategy, I'm able to offer my seller a 100% market value guarantee. And if I can get you 100% of your home's market value, I'll pay you the difference. So you don't have to wonder if you left money on the table. You can sell with confidence, knowing you maximize your sale.
Make sure you get every dollar for your home. That's why you call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
So I would not want to be, actually I would. I would love to be an owner of a professional football team because that means I'd be a billionaire or a multi-billionaire. But I would not want to be the owner of a professional football team and get caught trying to buy a prostitute. Which is what happened, Amy, did you see, with 49ers owner Jed York, who is the majority owner and CEO of the San Francisco 49ers, in a sting operation where he thought he was soliciting a prostitute. He thought he was buying a prostitute or the services of a prostitute. You don't get the whole prostitute forever. But they...
He's like a dog. He's not adopting a dog. It's not like that.
for $140. A $140.
That's not very expensive.
It's not.
Because
Not a bad price.
That's a great deal because what are they? The high service escorts or whatever.
So
those are like $5,000.
So this is what I'm thinking. Okay,
Yeah.
and this all happened in Columbiana County,
Oh, my gosh.
Ohio, where he arranged to have sexual activity with a female in exchange for $140. He was ultimately arrested near Wheat Hill Mobile Home Community, even though that's not where he was supposed to go. It's just where they caught him. So, look,
Jed getting arrested at Wheat Hill Mobile Home trying to buy a prostitute feels a little on the nose.
It does. First of all, do not get a prostitute.
No.
Don't do prostitute. Don't. It's probably
Don't
not
be
going to.
one, don't do it.
It's not good for you in any respect. However, if you are going to, and you are a multi-billionaire, isn't there some kind of highly discreet, highly expensive, top-of-the-line service that you could go to?
There is, and I know this because I once had an extended family member who was not super nice and said that I would be forced to be a prostitute because I have no skill and I'm undesirable. So I'm not even joking. And so we started looking into, well, there's a difference between just like working the corner street down in Fenton, because wasn't the Queen of Hearts Lounge, wasn't that something? At any rate, I think there was something going on there. And the really expensive escort services where it's like $5,000 and it's very discreet. And I just feel like if you are a billionaire, you should go with one of those.
That's what I'm saying. Just spend
$140 is not. And first of all, if you are a prostitute, you got to charge more than that. That's not very expensive.
Well, if you're out of a mobile, well, first of all, it was a sting operation, so maybe he did not know how much it was supposed to cost.
And maybe neither did the people conducting the sting.
Well, I would hope they would know because they probably do this kind of thing for.
Maybe they had to make it a great deal so that he wouldn't refuse
So
it.
he would.
We got to make this a sale.
I mean, you've got to go for the top of the line here.
I don't understand.
If his family's worth $8.5 billion.
Yeah.
He could literally pay $1 million for one night with a hooker, and they wouldn't know the money is missing.
Right.
I don't get
Because
it.
they would make more in interest overnight than they lost.
That's exactly right.
And you've helped a hooker because now the prostitute has $1 million and doesn't have to turn tricks anymore.
See?
I think that's a win-win.
Well, anyway, he's no longer in prison or in jail. I guess he got bailed out or bailed himself out or whatever it is that happens.
I don't know.
But it's a legal matter now, and he'll probably be fine and will suffer no real punishment. But come on, man. What the?
I did Google how he got his money. It just said generational wealth, and he inherited the team.
Of course he didn't.
That's what
earn
happens
it
if you
himself.
don't get a job.
Of course he
Get a
didn't.
job, buddy.
This guy, of course, did not earn it himself. When we come back, we will talk economy. We will talk the debt. We got a lot of things to get into with Dave Simons, in fact. Partner and managing director of One Private Wealth. He's next on KMOX.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very good friend John Moriarty from E3 Wealth. John and I go back years and years and years. John, it's great to have you back in the DGS fold. Tell everyone who's unfamiliar with E3 Wealth what you guys are all about.
Thanks, Dave. So happy to be back. E3, the 3 E's stand for Educate, Empower, Enlighten. We founded the firm, and sometimes we refer to it as E3 Consultants Group, because we want to proactively challenge the status quo as to how Americans are educated about money and finance-related decisions. It's a lot. So really what we try to do for our clients is help them think differently about money. And recently we've been doing a ton of things with business owners because we see that as an area where we can provide tremendous growth for them because we can help them build wealth through their business and also reduce their income tax liabilities. And when you can do that for a business owner, it makes a huge difference in their life.
It's kind of one-stop shopping for all finances, personal and business.
Absolutely. Yes, that's our focus. That's what we're attempting to do with our new book that's coming out called The Entrepreneur Playbook. We're going to be able to help a lot of people understand strategies, ideas on how to build their wealth and also protect it.
So John is a total pro, completely vouch for him as a person. Love this guy. No pressure, no hard sales. You want to learn more about your finances, personal and business, reach out to John at e3wealth.com.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Ann Wagner from Missouri's 2nd District. I work every day to put more money in your pocket, secure the border, protect our shared Missouri values, and keep our communities safe. Whether it's visiting one of my public events in neighborhoods around the district or by contacting my office, I want to hear from you. If you need help with a federal agency, please contact me at wagner.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 10 o'clock. We've got sunshine, 74 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. As you may have noticed from our morning traffic reports, the roads are busier with the new school year getting underway. Missouri troopers are reminding drivers to expect more congestion, more school buses, more young drivers on the road. Missouri State Highway Patrol Lieutenant Eric Brown says be extra alert.
We're going to see more foot traffic for children that are walking to school, kids that are riding their bicycles to school. Be watchful for that so you can avoid being in a situation where you come in danger or crash into a child that happens to ride their bike in front of you or across the street in an inappropriate place.
Brown told MissouriNet last year the state saw 871 crashes involving school buses, resulting in 1 death and 284 injuries. Missouri ranks 2nd worst in the nation for teen drivers, according to a new survey from Wallet Hub. Only Montana fares worse than the Show Me State. Missouri's worst rankings are for impaired driving laws, teen driver fatalities, distracted texting while driving laws, quality of roads, and miles traveled per capita. The best states for teen drivers are New York, Oregon, and New Jersey. The family of Alex Preddy, the ICU nurse who was shot and killed by ICE agents in Minneapolis last winter, says they still haven't heard from top Trump administration officials, nor have they received any concrete updates on the case from federal law enforcement.
My shock is that he was murdered, and no one has given us the complete truth or anyone has been held accountable. And it's been 7 months.
There was more effort in vilifying him than pursuing justice.
Michael and Susan Preddy, in an exclusive interview with ABC's George Stephanopoulos, say they find it appalling that top administration officials, even President Trump, were calling Alex a domestic terrorist and instigator shortly after he died. The names of the agents involved in the shooting have not been made public by the Justice Department. It's been an eyesore on Tucker for at least a decade. Just down the street from our KMOX studios, a long-condemned parking garage is finally being eyed for demolition. The Land Clearance for Redevelopment Authority today will consider a contract with a St. Louis-based engineering company for surveying work. The next step would be soliciting bids to demolish the 7-story garage that was built almost 60 years ago. In 2014, the parking garage was in danger of collapse, and the city shored it up and evacuated the businesses on the ground floor. Is Vine coming back? The 6-second video app was owned by Twitter and shut down in 2017, much to the despair of its fans. A new app called Divine launched last week and features a similar scrolling feed of 6-second videos. It's not owned by X or officially affiliated with Vine, but the creators say it was inspired by that app.
A nice afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds, high 86, partly cloudy and becoming more humid tonight, though 70. Very warm but humid tomorrow with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Watch out for a late afternoon and evening thunderstorm that can be heavy and gusty. The high tomorrow, 91. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now it's 74 degrees and mostly sunny. The weather is sponsored by the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Every Tuesday, we talk to Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth. And there's always plenty to discuss with him because there's always something going on. And we welcome in Dave Simons on the Quiver River Electric guest line. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Chris. Hello there, Amy.
Hello.
Amy is in debt.
Uh-oh.
She is in huge amounts of debt. But it is not $40 trillion in debt.
Well, that's good.
Actually, I don't think Amy's in debt.
I'm not in debt.
But Amy and I are worried about the $40 trillion in national debt. We don't really know why, but we know that we are. So what does this actually mean for the average person? Because we hear the number, we hear that it's just outrageously high. But then, we go about our lives and we don't really know what it means for us. So what does it mean?
And Chris, we've been going about our lives for 40 years while people have been talking about this. And in my entire career, when people have asked me, am I concerned about the debt? Back when it was 8 trillion, 12 trillion, 18, 24. And I always said, no, I know it's a big headline grabbing number. I get it. And it seems unwieldy, but I don't see it being a huge problem. That's what I said in the past. And I said, it will matter when it matters. And when it matters, the bond market will start to get up and protest. That's what's happening now. So for the first time since I've been at this, I now am closer to the point of saying, I think it could matter. That's not to scare anybody. It's just to say that we might be prepared for a different kind of economic era that could take a few years, because what we're seeing now is the potential inability for the government to possibly pay all of its bills. Look, guys, let's simplify this. There's only two ways out of this. There's only two ways. You either have to raise taxes, the government does, or you have to cut spending. That's where we are. We had other options in the past. You could do a lot of different kinds of things with the Fed and the Treasury, and they're trying that, but it's not working. And so what is most palatable to people? Well, it's always, raise taxes as long as my taxes aren't raised. Cut social programs and cut all this and cut spending as long as whatever I get from the government is not cut. So I kind of hold us, all of our collective feet to the fire to say, well, we can rightfully look at DC and say, guys, you've now gotten this into a mess where we're close to the point of no return. And we're not going to be able to pay our bills in I don't know, is it 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, but we're getting close to that. But then we don't want to personally, as each of us as Americans, want to do anything about it. The bond market, and we've talked about this, is the ultimate arbiter. And if we don't do something about this, the bond market will break. That will cause inflation to rise considerably. Interest rates will rise, and we will start to lose our credibility as the biggest financial engine in the world. Again, not trying to scare anybody. It's not happening today. But if we don't take care of business, either raising taxes or cutting spending, we are heading in that direction.
In terms of taxes, I know this is a non-starter for a lot of people. As soon as you bring it up, they're out. But there are a lot of politicians that want to raise taxes on the very, very, very wealthy. Not talking about any of us, but people who have more money than you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
And that is a non-starter for a lot. Even people who are never going to get close to anything like that in their lives, they will argue against it. But if we did that, would that be something that could help?
No. So I've looked at, and by the way, I'm neutral on this. If you're making, you're worth billions and you're making, 50 million a year and your taxes are raised 3%, you're not really going to notice it. But I'm against it on principle because number one, Chris, to your question, it's nothing. I just saw something where you could actually take all the net worth of every billionaire in the US, and we've got thousands of them now, billionaire, and it's only worth like a few $trillion. I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing. So raising taxes on that. But the principle of it is, it's not the billionaires' fault that we're in this mess. It's that over time, this isn't something that just happened overnight. This has been growing on us. And really, ever since 2008, if you looked at a line, when we started, we had to try to build the economy back up after the Great Recession. We pushed interest rates to zero and we increased all this spending. But when the government increases spending, they never take that away.
Yeah.
And so then we did it again with COVID. And now it's just really exploded in the last 5 or 6 years. And by the way, politically, a pox on both sides. This is a Republican and Democrat problem.
Yeah, and to your point about the not cutting back on the spending, because there are a lot of politicians that will propose some type of program that costs a lot of money, but say it's necessary now and it sunsets in 8 years or it sunsets in 10 years. Nobody wants to be in charge when that sucker sunsets because nobody wants to be the politician to take benefits or programs away from people. So I feel like a lot of programs that are initially proposed as if they will sunset end up being perpetual.
And if you dare to come out and say, hey, remember, we passed this only for a certain amount of time, then you are labeled as uncaring. And you're exactly right, Amy. That is untenable for a politician, even though that was the initial intent. We've seen that recently. And back to the other thing I was talking about the principle of it, taxing the ultra wealthy on this. It doesn't really matter in terms of the overall debt, and two, as I was mentioning, it's not really their problem. They didn't cause any of this. It really gets back to what's going on in DC and nobody really wanting to do anything about this. And so we have to look in the mirror and say, okay, are we going to do anything at the ballot box? And the answer is no, not really. Because we, as Americans, talk a big game. We know we are heading into some real potential catastrophe down the road here. When the rest of the global market says we are not going to buy U.S. government bonds anymore, we don't believe, United States of America, that maybe you are guaranteed to pay the interest on the debt. You are guaranteed to pay all the principal back when those bonds mature. We always trusted you in the past, but now you're acting like a third world banana republic with your own finances, and we are going to go elsewhere.
Dave Simons is with us, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth. What do we expect to happen when the Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, speaks on Friday?
I have very low expectations. And I don't mean that necessarily in a negative way. That's not necessarily a criticism of Warsh, but we've already seen in his brief tenure as Fed chairman that he is not someone who is going to show any predictions. He's not going to lay his cards over to say, this is what I've got. He is trying to break that tradition of the Fed. I do agree with that up to a certain point because a lot of these predictions turn out to be wrong, and it costs businesses and investors a lot of money because they might start to develop their own programs and their business models based on what the Fed is predicting. And when it goes the other way, they are really screwed financially. We've seen that. And so Warsh says, we're not going to do that anymore because a lot of things can change. Now, I hope he says something to calm maybe the markets because the bond market right now is clearing its throat. And you don't want the bond market to all of a sudden be the schoolyard bully. The bond market doesn't do that very often. But, you guys are hockey fans, Amy, you in particular. I think you can appreciate this analogy. Brett Hull said he would not have scored as many goals as he scored if he didn't have an enforcer like Kelly Chase out there, who kept things honest, who policed the rink. So Brett Hull did have a little bit more freedom out there. Wayne Gretzky had the same thing with some of the guys on the Oilers.
Marty McSorley.
There you go. The bond market is that police force. The bond market, like Kelly Chase, they weren't out there looking for fights because they enjoyed it. They just knew that was their occasional role to keep everybody honest. That's what the bond market does. We don't want to fight, but United States government if you're going to continue to be so irresponsible with your fiscal and monetary policies, then we're going to cause some trouble. And we're going to sell your bonds, and we're not going to buy future bonds. And that you do not want happening. Again, down the road, but it's closer than it was recently.
All right, Dave, you have a new website up, 1pwm.com. So private wealth management. And so 1pwm.com. And I know you want to tell people about that website. And I also have a question about something you specifically posted on the website about Dave Ramsey. So which one do you want to get into first?
Well, let's just go with, it's ONEPWM, so 1pwm.com. We're really happy. My partner here, one of my partners, Lindsay Beyer, has helped create this thing where as soon as you go to that, right at the top banner, you'll see that you can get all of my recent social media releases. So it's three things. It's my weekly commentary, it's my YouTube podcast, and we have just now resurrected the old Dollars and Cents show in a streaming version on Spotify. So go there, you'll see it. Really excited. I've been working for a year to get this up there. All my free social content that I update every week. Now, what did you want to know about Dave Ramsey?
So you have a YouTube video up, and it says, "Really, Ramsey?" And so in this week's, I'll read the lead here. In this week's Terrible Takes, Dave examines Dave Ramsey's continued claim that retirees can safely withdraw 10% annually from their investment portfolios. And it seems that you have some arguments maybe against this.
Yeah, I have a real problem, but let me say this first. I have followed Dave Ramsey for decades. I've actually taken the financial peace course that he's well known for, particularly in churches. He does a great job with things like budgeting, paying down debt. He has really helped a lot of Americans. Where he goes awry, because he is not a financial planner, he does not work with individuals and their investments over time, he can give some egregiously harmful recommendations. And the one that I talk about in that podcast is, and I even show the video where he said this, you can get 11 to 12% average return on your money, even in retirement. And he specifically is referring to a 70-year-old man putting all of your money into high-octane growth stock mutual funds, no defense, you're in your 70s, and you can pull out up to 10% a year, and you're going to be fine. That is so dangerous. If I tried that, by the way, I would lose my license, and I would be out of a job, most likely. And I give examples in there. And how dangerous that is. And this is why I do these occasional terrible takes, because of this era of social media. I see these things floating around on TikTok and podcasts, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing has 2 million views. If anyone takes this advice, they could be broke in 10 years. And I thought, of all people, Dave Ramsey, who's one of the better known in the entire industry, and God love him, he's been very, very successful. But please be careful following advice like that. It could prove very, very harmful.
I only follow one Dave.
Thank you, sir.
That's it.
Thank you.
Letterman.
Dave
I knew.
Letterman.
You know, I knew it. I knew that was coming.
Dave Simons, you're the best, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate both of you. Have a great rest of your week.
Partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, and his new website is 1pwm.com. That is ONEPWM.com. And Dave joins us every Tuesday on 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Over 35 years, I've seen it all. Car crashes, work injuries, defective products, medical mistakes, lives flipped upside down in an instant. But I've also seen something else, the power of fighting back, the power of winning. Over $30 billion recovered and counting. Size matters, reputation matters, results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's 5 o'clock. Your employees are headed home, but you're still updating spreadsheets, switching between software, and wondering where the day went. There's a better way. Odoo brings accounting, sales, inventory, CRM, and more together in one fully integrated platform. So you spend less time managing software and more time running your business, because your workday should end eventually. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hey, this is Kevin Wheeler, and I want to tell you about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores, and you can find a location at supplementsuperstores.com. Look, Burn Balance Complex is different, okay? It's a game changer. It is a complete, all-natural metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. If you're someone that doesn't want to get a prescription, if you don't want to go get injections, Burn Balance Complex can get your metabolism rocking the way that it's supposed to, and you notice it really early on because you start to notice clothes are fitting a little differently. You're seeing results, which then kind of gives you motivation to keep on going, right? Well, on top of the metabolism boost, you're also going to notice reduced stress with lower cortisol levels, appetite and craving control, which is absolutely critical to staying on a plan, plus all-day focused energy, no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. And look, it's not magic. You got to do the work, but Burn Balance Complex has made that work so much easier for me. It'll do the same for you. So get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off right then and there. And you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Lose weight or stop smoking with Hypnosis guaranteed or your money back only $59.99. Hypnosis Thursday, September 17th, Radisson Hotel, Fairview Heights. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking Hypnosis 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 19th, Holiday Inn Creve Coeur. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking Hypnosis 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
A century strong. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Well, the Savannah Bananas were here over the weekend. I got to go on Saturday.
You're a banana head, aren't you?
I'm a big-time guy, banana guy. I had a good time. It's always fun. I think it's fun for kids. It's fun for adults if you're not a curmudgeon. We had the Gas House Gang yesterday, and Greg Amsinger from MLB Network joins us every Monday. And, Greg's a fun guy. So I thought that he might be into this whole Savannah Bananas thing. But apparently...
This is the first time I'm confessing this.
Oh.
The Savannah Bananas make me want to vomit.
Oh, my God.
My guy. Now, I didn't say that I hate them.
See, Tom, you're a professional and I'm not. I will say the thing, right? I will say the thing. It is a travesty to baseball. I can't stand it. And I'm fine. I let all the banana heads hate my guts, whatever.
Banana heads.
I can't watch fake stuff. I can't. I don't watch WWE. What do these games amount to? What does it? What does it matter?
It's a good time, Greg.
Choreography in sports is just weird. I don't need someone to jump off the top rope and have their shirt halfway unbuttoned. And I'm either going to a Broadway show or I'm going to a sporting event.
Greg Amsinger, MLB Network. What time you get rolling today, buddy? 4 Central?
5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about a lot of things. One thing we won't talk about, the Savannah
bananas. Come on, man.
My man.
Listen, man, if I want to see chest hair, I'll just undo my tie and unbutton a couple for the show, okay?
You know what?
Wow.
Here's what I would say to Greg Amsinger. There are close to 7,000 baseball games, professional baseball games that get played every year. 2,400 of them, roughly. I think it's a little over 2,400 in Major League Baseball. And then if you include the minors, it's over 4,000, 4,500, something like that. That's a lot of baseball. That's just regular-ass baseball. Why can't we have a spectacle of baseball? Nothing wrong. Hey, let them sing and dance. Let them have a DJ playing during the entire game. Let there be a clock, a 2-hour time limit for the game. Let all of that happen. What's the big deal? I think it's a lot of fun.
I cannot figure you out.
Why?
You know, you are generally known and perceived as something of a curmudgeon. A little bit like, you know what, I don't care. It's not about fun. It's not about kids. Let's just play ball, do our thing, move on. Don't say home of the blues when you're singing the national anthem. Have some respect for yourselves.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely
I'm a little
true.
surprised that you love Banana Ball.
So here's why I like it.
It's a little whimsical for you. Now, don't get me wrong.
I like whimsy. I don't know what you're talking about.
You do like whimsy.
Yes.
It's hard to know which whimsy is Chris Ranji approved and which is not.
What I think the important point is that I'm not somebody who believes that just because a thing has been a certain way this whole time, that's the way it should always be. That's not always true.
Oh, my gosh.
I am not a person who is, well, we've always done it that way, so why don't we just keep doing it this way? I think that's silly. In some cases, yes, that fits. Like, okay, let's go back a couple of years ago before the pitch clock. Baseball purists were losing their minds. Like, I can't believe we're doing this. That's not the way baseball is supposed to be played. There's never been a clock. And then they implement it, and it works, and everyone's like, this is actually pretty good, isn't it? Games are flying by. You don't have the pitcher getting the ball and walking around the mound like he's taking a stroll through the yard. He gets the ball and he throws it, and action happens. So,
do you know what? You nailed it. Because, see, here I thought I kept attributing your love for the bananas to whimsy and fun, childlike wonder. And I realized, no, it is because you are subversive and a contrarian. And
no, it's not contrarianism.
Yes,
because
baseball is stodgy.
No.
Baseball's stodgy.
The Savannah Bananas are hugely popular, which would not make me a contrarian. By definition, I would have to hate the bananas.
But you're a contrarian to Major League Baseball and the stodginess of, you know, it is. It's like the Cardinal way and how they're having more fun now with the tarps off. MLB has its own quote-unquote Cardinal way. It has its own way that we are Major League Baseball and we don't let people have personality. And the game is sacred and religious experience. Don't touch it. And I think it's a little bit of, I think it itches your contrarian.
Okay, see, this is where you're wrong.
It scratches your contrarian itch.
No.
I'm not a contrarian.
No.
This is where you're wrong.
This is where you're wrong because I have a reason that you're wrong. Contrarianism is disagreeing with something just for the sake of disagreeing with it.
But you like to disagree.
Yeah.
I think you've said you've done that before.
Not here. I actually like I'm giving you reasons that I think the bananas are good. I'm giving you reasons why baseball needed improvement, like the pitch clock. The game was too effing slow, and everybody knew it. Everybody who was a casual fan of the game, knew it at the time, were like, dude, these games are too damn long. 4 hours for a baseball game in June? No,
That's
let's
long,
speed this up. Let's go. That was a contrarianism is just me disagreeing just for the hell of it. That's not what's going on here.
Which you do like.
Sometimes, but not here.
It's a good time. Can I say this? Because we have a texter. I've heard this argument multiple times, and a texter said, how many MLB teams sell out every game? Listen, if the Cardinals played 2 games a year, you would have 5 million people trying to get into Busch Stadium. The Bananas sell out every game because they only play 2 games per city. The Cardinals are playing 81 games at home at Busch every year. So to me, that is apples and oranges. You cannot compare the Bananas selling out Busch Stadium for 2 nights. The Cardinals would sell out if they only played 2 home games a year.
I think that's probably true, although I would really like to see how much of a drop-off there would be. And like, how long would it take before the novelty's gone and people, maybe 10,000 people show up? Or would it be...
You mean the Bananas playing
Bananas,
here?
yes.
But the Bananas played 81 games here. You couldn't give away tickets.
Well, I don't know about that. Because they're cheap.
81?
Yeah, because they're inexpensive. Mm-hmm. The most expensive ticket is like $40. So I think you get a lot of fans. You don't think people would pay for a ticket that's like $40? That's nothing these days.
Not after 81 games.
Man, I don't know about that. I'm not saying they get 40,000 people in the building, but I do think they would get a lot over the course of a season just because it is not $120 to sit behind the plate. Hey, we're going to talk a little Cardinals baseball, minor leagues, when we come back. Brian Walton, the founder of thecardinalnation.com, he really has, he dives into the minor leagues, and there are a lot of young guys contributing this season, and there are more coming. We will talk to Brian when we come back on KMOX.
All right. Speaking of 40,000, if you have one ant, you pretty much have 40,000 ants. And I, like I said, called Rottler this week because the bugs are already making their way into my home with the changing of the seasons. They're getting prepared for the winter weather and not on Rottler's watch. So go ahead, visit Rottler.com. When you call Rottler, a real person will answer the phone. And also they can dispatch a technician to your home the same day or the next day. That's because Rottler is family-owned. They're the largest family-owned pest control company in the state of Missouri, and they've been serving St. Louis and the surrounding areas for over 70 years. So whether you're concerned about ants or silverfish, I mentioned a silverfish yesterday because a friend said that I guess they were making their way down from his attic, and that can be a huge deal. Or roaches, which really gross me out. Any type of bugs, spiders, stinging insects, maybe they're outside. Rottler can take care of it. They'll have a plan customized to your needs to keep your home protected and your family safe. Visit Rottler.com, Rottler.com.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Cardinals conversation doesn't end when the game does. Watch the Gas House Game, Redbird Rush Hour, Sports Open Line, and sports on a Sunday morning whenever and wherever you want. Plus, exclusive conversations with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol, president of baseball operations Chaim Bloom, players, broadcasters, and baseball insiders. Subscribe today to the KMOX Sports YouTube channel because Cardinals fans deserve a front row seat. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
77 degrees. Pleasant today with intervals of clouds and sunshine, a high of 87. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 68. Weather sponsored by i3 Broadband.
Life's always on and online. From homework to streaming and deliveries. i3 Broadband 100% fiber keeps everyone connected. Visit i3broadband.com/radio or call 1-866-825-8739 today. i3 Broadband. Life runs better on fiber. Service availability varies by address. Visit i3broadband.com for details.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the gallery showcases stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
Today, the Cards, the Orioles.
Emra Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Swung on, driven. Deep left field. Jesus Baez, his third home run of the game. Springfield leads 9-4. Jesus Baez with another rocket off his bat. A 4-homer day, counting his blast in the first ball game today, the resumption of last night's suspended contest.
We've been hearing a lot about Cardinals prospects and how the minor league system has dramatically improved over the last couple of years, and we are seeing some of the fruits of that at the big league level now. Cardinals are back at it tonight. 5:50 pregame show on KMOX. 6:45 first pitch. It is the first of 3 at home against the Baltimore Orioles, and it is time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. The founder of thecardinalnation.com, Brian Walton, is with us here on KMOX, and Brian covers the minor leagues for the Cardinals. Thought it'd be a good time to visit with him. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing great. It's a great time to be a person who follows the Cardinals minor leagues. As you said, there's a lot of positive things going on right now.
We got Joshua Baez already up here, and he's been here for a couple of weeks. We'll get to him in a moment, but let's talk about Jesus Baez and what he did with that 4-homer weekend. I guess it's less confusing to say that, but there's a lot of exciting stuff. So what do people need to know about him that they don't now?
Well, Jesus Baez, of course, came over to the Cardinals organization last year in the Ryan Helsley trade. And as you look, the Mets only got 20 innings from Helsley, and it was disappointing before he left as a free agent. And the Cardinals got Jesus Baez, who was 20 years old at the time. Now he's 21, and he's in Double-A, started the season in Peoria, and has continued to improve offensively. The young man's a really good power hitter, a pull hitter, a fly ball hitter. But I think and he leads the system, or co-leads the system with Joshua Baez, who, as you mentioned, is already in the major leagues with 34 home runs. But Baez, the two Baezes, who aren't related, by the way, have about the same RBI total as well. But Jesus Baez down in Springfield has accomplished the same thing in 30 fewer plate appearances than Joshua. So as exciting as Joshua Baez's home run feats have been this season, Jesus Baez, one level down, has been just as good or better.
And so with this happening, we're looking at the minor league system just overall, and Jesus Baez is at Double-A right now. And if you're looking at the top prospects, or at least those that are considered top prospects by, MLB Pipeline or by Baseball America, most of these guys are either in Double-A or Single-A, the ones who are still there. Like the top 10 prospects, most of them, with the exception of just a couple, are not at AAA yet even. So what does that say about the system that you've got all this young talent now?
Well, it's a great thing for the future. It's not as good for right now because, as we know, for example, St. Louis needs pitching, and there isn't a lot ready right now. But again, we have to be patient. As Chaim Bloom told us, this restocking of the minor league system is going to take time, and they have to avoid the temptation of pushing guys ahead before they're ready. There's a lot of talk about Rainiel Rodriguez, and I'm sure we'll talk about him soon enough. But Rodriguez at 19 has just done everything expected of him at Double-A, and there's some people asking, hey, why don't you just move him to AAA now? Well, he's in a groove. He's doing well. And the Springfield Cardinals at AA are in a position to potentially win their division in the second half and go on to win a championship. And the Cardinals, like every organization, want players to experience what it's like to play in playoff baseball. And of course, also at the AAA level, the Cardinals have a pretty good catcher as well in Leonardo Bernal. So they're very, very wealthy at that position.
How big is the jump for players from AA to AAA?
Might be a bigger jump for pitchers, Amy, because at the AAA level, they use the Major League Baseball. And the Major League Baseball is better constructed, but it has lower seams. And the pitchers get used to the minor league ball, and there's some adjustment at the AAA level. Of course, also at the AAA level, they're dealing with, the electronic balls and strikes and, some of the things that they haven't necessarily seen as consistently in the lower levels. From a hitter's perspective, I think it is the fact that there are a lot of pitchers there's two kinds of pitchers in AAA, two kinds of players in AAA. The ones who have been in the major leagues and have had a taste of it and want to get back there as soon as possible, and the people who are really, really hungry and want to get there for the first time. And so the pitchers are more experienced in AAA, and it makes it a little tougher for hitters sometimes adapting. The other thing is that the Texas League, which is the AA league where the Springfield Cardinals play, is known for smaller parks, better offense. And the parks in the AAA International League are more like major league parks. So it's a transition for anybody, I think.
Talking with Brian Walton, founder of thecardinalnation.com. He's with us on KMOX. And you mentioned Raniel Rodriguez, who is their catching / corner infield or first base prospect. And there's a lot of discussion about him. And I suppose that maybe we haven't focused on him so much this season just because, we've been really focusing on the Cardinals' current young players on the roster and then calling up Baez, for example. But Rodriguez is getting a lot of chatter as well and a lot of attention.
It's hard to believe that the number one prospect in the system is somebody who isn't getting talked about that much.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a young man who won't turn 20 years old until January. 21 home runs, 72 RBI, 321 batting average, 966 OPS at AA at 19 years of age. I mean, it's a tremendous, and it's not a bad catcher either. Now, he's played some first base. The Cardinals have done a good job, by the way, in having all their catchers play some first base. They've done the same thing with Bernal up at Memphis to have them a little more versatile. But the Cards VP of Player Development and Player Development and Performance, Rob Cerfolio, was recently quoted as saying they're thinking about trying Rodriguez at other positions, maybe third base, in the offseason to see if he could adapt. And as we all know, you've talked about it on your show, everybody's talking about it, the backup, the logjam that the Cardinals have at catcher, they have to resolve some way. And the easy way, of course, is to trade away but potentially valuable players. Another option, like in the case of Rodriguez, might be, can he play another position?
Yeah, so I'm always interested in the catching position because historically, at least over the last couple of decades, it's been the case that if a team has a really good hitter at the lower levels or somewhere in the minor leagues, and that guy is making his way through and he's been a catcher, that they try to, not always, but there are a lot of times they try to shift him away from that position because they know being a catcher puts more wear and tear on your body. So they'd like that guy to be around longer. Is that still the practice? Is it still the kind of thing that organizations think about and try to do, shifting those guys away from that position?
Chris, I think that now that Major League Baseball finally resolved the 4-decade or 5-decade DH mismatch where they had the designated hitter in the American League and not in the National League, that gives them teams a lot more opportunity to rest catchers. So I think it's less of a factor maybe than it was. And another factor that's less regarding catchers is framing. Framing, of course, is the catcher taking a ball that is right on the edge, right on the outside edge of the strike zone and pulling it in such that it tricks the umpire into turning a ball into a strike. Now, again, with the electronic mechanisms that are being used to challenge pitches, framing is less important. So really, for catchers, it's about how do they call games? Are they good behind the plate? Are they good at throwing out opposing runners? And those are probably the factors more than worrying about durability, because the DH position does give them more flexibility to rest a catcher, at least partially rest him by having him not play in the field.
Brian, you had a piece on the CardinalNation.com. I believe it came out late last week, comparing the Cardinals farm system rankings over time and our farm system now, the Cardinals farm system now versus the group that was ranked number 1 in 2013. And again, that is for subscribers to the CardinalNation.com to read that piece. But what are some of the rankings or comparisons that surprised you or maybe what you expected?
Well, prospect rankings are cyclical, Amy, of course, and you don't necessarily have a top farm system for years and years on end because players graduate and they move up, and maybe the guys that are behind them aren't quite as exciting. But I think what's exciting about the Cardinals right now is that there's a lot of hay has been made over the fact that Baseball America and MLB Pipeline ranked the Cardinals system in the top handful in baseball. But the reality is they were also there this spring. But what happened since spring is J.J. Weatherhole graduated, Nathan Church graduated, Jimmy Crooks graduated. So a bunch of players that were contributed to that top ranking are gone. But these new players, between the ones they've drafted this year, like a Trevor Condon and a Tegan Kuhns, and then the players they picked up in trade at the deadline have, and then the 2026 draft as well. Those things together have revitalized the system such that they've been able to maintain that number 2 ranking in baseball compared to the farm systems, according to Baseball America. Now, to your point about 2013, I used 2013 as a comparison because that was the last time that the Cardinals were ranked number 1, had the number 1 system in baseball. And at that point in time, they had players like Oscar Taveras, Shelby Miller, Carlos Martinez, Trevor Rosenthal, Colton Wong, Michael Wacha. Then those 6 players were on every national top 100 list. And as you know, all with the exception of Taveras, who, of course, had that tragic accident that ended his life early on. All those players had long legs as major leaguers. But even behind that, and the Cardinals have been known, for their depth. It's not always just the top 100 prospects, but in that same time in 2013, they had Carson Kelly, Patrick Wisdom, Stephen Piscotty, Matt Adams, Pete Cosma, Seth Maness. So we're talking about a dozen guys that were significant major league players, not a cup of coffee guy, but significant major league players, all in the farm system at that one time. So while the system is as good as it is right now, that 2013 group was one that, we may not see to be that good for a long time.
Yeah, you don't usually get that many contributors. Guys who are, if they're not everyday guys, people who can contribute, they can be part of the mix. And
you look at that. You look at that group, Chris. I mean, Shelby Miller, Michael Wacha. Michael Wacha's an all-star.
He's still
Carson
pitching.
Kelly,
Yeah.
And Patrick Wisdom. They're all still playing today. We're talking about guys who were in the farm system 13 years ago.
Let me ask you about Joshua Baez. He had that incredible debut that had everybody talking about him. Since then, it has not gone particularly well at the plate. He's hitting 139. He's getting on base at 220, which is really not very good at all. His slugging number is up there, though. What do you make of his early part of his major league career?
Well, I think that first game shows you what emotion can do to a player and how important that is. And it's something that we can't measure. We can't assess from afar. But Joshua Baez is the same guy that opening day as he is today. But he had that oomph, right? He had that, I want to do this, for my dad. I want to show all those people that I really, really belong to be here. And when he did, he made Matthew Boyd look like a washed-up minor leaguer instead of a star pitcher like he is for the Chicago Cubs. I think any player, it's going to take them time to adapt. And we saw, and it's not, hopefully it won't be like that, but we saw Jordan Walker take, several years before he found his stride as a major leaguer. And Joshua Baez is just 23 years old. He was drafted as a high schooler. And I think that it's pretty clear the Cardinals, traded Lars Nootbaar, created that left field opening. They're going to give Baez plenty of time this year to adjust, and certainly pitchers will adjust to him as well. But I'm certainly not worried about the early numbers with Joshua Baez. It's the perfect opportunity for him to get his feet wet, not for a day or two, but for a month and a half or so between when he came up and the end of the season.
Yeah, but we are looking forward to his career as well, and glad it's underway and hoping for a strong finish from him. We appreciate your time today, Brian. It's good to talk some minor league baseball with you. Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure, anytime.
Brian Walton, he is the founder of the CardinalNation.com. That's the CardinalNation.com. He does cover the minor leagues for the Cardinals, has done so for a long time. So Yeah, I mean, there's a lot on the team now to be excited about for the future going forward. But then in the minor leagues, there's a good collection of talent that they have acquired or have drafted and developed for themselves over the last several years. So,
I was thinking about this the other day, or yesterday, I should say, because, obviously people get caught up in the day-to-day, like, oh, can't believe Ollie made this decision or that decision. But here's the thing. We all knew that this was a developmental youth movement season. And back in the early 2000s, the Cardinals went to 3 World Series in 8 years, 2004, 2006, 2011. Do you think...
Well, they went in 13, too, and lost.
They did go in 13, so they went 4 and 9 years.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a team that we could see hit 2 or 3 World Series appearances?
No, I don't know. That's
in a couple, and like in a 10, not in 10 years, but within a 10-year window. Like, is that?
I don't know about that. I mean,
was that just that extraordinary to hit 4 World Series in 9 years?
It doesn't happen very often.
Because I forgot about 13.
I mean, teams like the Astros and Dodgers have been there a lot. And Boston did in the early aughts. They were there a lot.
But that's insane. That is insane. Yeah.
So, we'll see. But I do think the Cardinals are certainly moving in the right direction. Oliver Marmol is the manager of the team. He's on the Gas House Gang, which is coming up at 12 o'clock with Bernie, Ackerman, and me. And we'll talk to the Cardinals manager then. It happens to be Dinger Tuesday on FanDuel. That's right. Every Tuesday is Dinger Tuesday. And what that means is you can choose your own reward every Tuesday to use on home run bets on FanDuel. So how are you going to play your game? You've got a couple of options. There's the bet reset, which means you can use that on your wager and you'll get refunded in bonus bets if the bet loses. Or you can take a 50% profit boost. So what that means is you make your bet, you activate the profit boost. If the bet hits, that is extra winnings at no extra cost. So make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next home run bet. We're just talking about Joshua Baez. Is he going to break out again? They could really use him. And tonight, the Cardinals do play the Orioles at home. Go to FanDuel.com/Missouri. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Choose your reward for home run bets every Dinger Tuesday. Play ball with the Home for Home Runs on FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
The Ted Savage Cardinals Care Classic is coming to Whitmore Country Club on Thursday, September 10th. Enjoy a round of golf and mingle with Cardinals alumni from the 2006 World Series champion team, all while raising funds for the Cardinals Nike RBI program. Registration includes golf with a Cardinals celebrity, on-course, pre- and post-golf refreshments, golf swag, and more. To register for the Ted Savage Cardinals Care Classic or to learn more, visit cardinals.com/golf. That's cardinals.com/golf.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. In a clinical study, Eliquis, apixaban, reduces stroke risk and has less major bleeding than warfarin.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Ask your doctor about the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner, Eliquis.
What if you could better understand your risk for chronic disease and cancer before symptoms ever begin? With your disease risk from Siteman Cancer Center, you can take a quick, evidence-based assessment that looks at factors like family history, lifestyle, and everyday habits to provide personalized insights about your health. Your health story is shaped by more than genetics. Nutrition, physical activity, sleep, tobacco use, and routine screenings all play an important role in your future well-being. Knowing how these factors work together can help you make informed decisions and take action earlier. When it comes to prevention, knowledge is powerful. In just a few minutes, your disease risk can help you better understand your health risks and provide practical guidance to support a healthier future. Take the first step today. Prevention begins with awareness. Visit siteman.washu.edu/YDR. That's siteman.washu.edu/YDR.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
The question of the week is one that is the bane of Chris Ranji's existence.
Yeah.
But he couldn't retweet it because he's got too many Chicago trolls in his social media following.
Yes. So I don't want to skew the results.
Because here's the question. The question is it okay to say home of the Blues at the end of the national anthem as St. Louis is wont to do?
Well, no. It should be, is it okay to do it at a game that's not a Blues game?
Outside of a hockey game.
Yes, here we go. Is it acceptable to sing Home of the Blues during the national anthem at a non-St. Louis Blues sporting event? That is the question of the week. It's at Chris Amy KMOX. So if you haven't followed us on Twitter, it's time you do that now. And yeah, I've made it very clear. I hate it. And the reason it came up again is because I was at the Bananas game on Saturday and the anthem was playing and it occurred to me, oh God, please don't do it. Please don't do it here. Don't do it.
You don't want to be embarrassed in front of the Bananas.
Don't do it. And then at the City game I went to a couple of weeks prior, I did the same thing. Please don't do it here. And of course they did it. I despise it. If you want to do it at Blues games, super cool. Go right ahead. I don't mind. But at a Cardinals game, the Blues aren't playing. It's a Cardinals game. That you were at Busch Stadium. That is not the home of the Blues.
I think they're saying America is the home of the Blues.
It is, well,
which is technically true.
I mean, there are thousands of teams that are
but it's
make
not
their
wrong.
home in America.
It's not wrong. It's like this. Between Warren Buffett and me, we have billions of dollars. That's true.
That's right. I think it was, it was a Stacey King played for the Bulls, and I forgot what it was, but it was something like, yeah, one night Michael Jordan and I, we combined for 70 points. I had 2 and he had 58, but yeah. I think that's who it was.
That's pretty good.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. The show continues. Hour 3 is coming up. We got Gas House Gang at noon. When we come back, a visitor to St. Louis recently was staying at an Airbnb in the Central West End, and their cars got shot up right outside on Pine. And we're going to talk to Mike Kelsey. He and his family were visiting St. Louis for his daughter's surgery, and we will get his story when we come back on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 11:01 and we have partly cloudy skies and 77 degrees now. I'm Debbie Monterey. An animated eagle coming to Soulard next Monday.
The Anheuser-Busch Brewery in Soulard is getting a lot of attention this week, ever since a 32-foot-tall sign went up at the facility on Monday. Once lit up, the sign will feature an animated eagle flying through a large A. It comes to St. Louis from New Jersey, where it's been displayed at an Anheuser-Busch Brewery for over 2 decades. A private ceremony will be held next Monday when the sign's lights and animation will be officially turned on. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
Canada is issuing a series of retaliatory tariffs on U.S. imports in response to the 50% tariffs that President Trump has imposed on Canadian goods coming into the U.S. Canada's finance minister, François-Philippe Champagne, says Canada's tariffs could be as much as 50%.
We will meet the moment together. And as the Prime Minister has said, we will support our workers, our businesses, and our industry with whatever it takes for as long as it takes.
This does impact Missouri, as Canada is the #1 trading partner for Missouri, accounting for 31% of all of the Show Me State's exports. New research on pro football players and brain injuries.
This analysis of more than 300 NFL players who donated their brains to science finds 93.2% had evidence of CTE. The British Medical Journal study extrapolates that to probably 1 in 4 of all former NFL players who died between 2016 and 2021. Among brain donors, 90.4% of those with the most severe CTE had dementia. Often that wasn't captured on death certificates, suggesting the problem is way worse than thought. Asked for comment by ESPN, the NFL said it's continuously working on strategies to reduce concussions and head impacts. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
They say if you see something, say something, but that's not always easy for young people. Courage to Report aims to make it easier.
We offer an anonymous tip line service that operates 24/7, 365 days a year, and all of our tips are sent to school administrators and local law enforcement to investigate.
That is Dakota Bamer with the Missouri Highway Patrol, says their tip lines get up to 2,000 reports a year, anything from bullying to guns in school to vaping in the bathroom. Courage, the number 2, reportmo.com. The U.S. Secret Service is aware that Iranian state media has aired a video that appears to threaten the life of Barron Trump since the U.S. assassination of Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and members of his family. Iranian media have on multiple occasions circulated content threatening the president and his family.
Times of sun and clouds this afternoon with a high reaching 86 and partly cloudy tonight, becoming more humid, low 70. Quite warm and humid tomorrow with clouds and sun and a high of 91. During the late afternoon and evening hours, be on the lookout for a heavy gusty thunderstorm in places. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Partly cloudy now, 77 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Why pay full insurance when you can customize and save? Switch to Liberty Mutual and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Well, a few days ago, we heard a pretty harrowing and terrible story out of the Central West End where an Illinois family had come to St. Louis for their daughter's surgery. In fact, they needed to see a neurosurgeon for spine surgery. So they had an Airbnb in the Central West End. And it was during that recovery period that the family stayed at that Airbnb. And one night they got caught up in a massive shooting that ended up with 15 bullet holes in one of their cars, totaled the car. They felt threatened in the room where they were staying. And joining us now is Mike Kelsey. He and his family were the ones visiting St. Louis for their daughter's surgery. And Mike, thank you for joining us this morning. I was reading your story and what you guys went through, and I'm very sorry. That must have been terrifying.
It was very terrifying.
Can you just kind of set the table for us or maybe recap what happened that night? I know you said your daughter was in the recovery period. You were staying at this Airbnb. You were getting ready to go to bed and heard some kids upstairs maybe having a party. Then what happened?
Yeah, so, we went to St. Louis because Barnes Jewish is a renowned spine surgeon there. And so my daughter has a condition called scoliosis, so we had a spinal fusion performed. And then we thought since she's got a bunch of subsequent follow-up visits, we would just rent an Airbnb near the hospital for her to relax, recover, and go to her visits. I'm staying on the first floor of an Airbnb, and then there's a second floor that's also a short-term rental. Approximately 9 p.m., I hear all the partying upstairs. I put my earplugs in. I go to bed. I didn't think anything of it. My wife was going to take care of my daughter on the night shift. I would take care of the day shift. Approximately 1 a.m., I was awoken to a barrage of gunshots. And I don't know how many there were at the time. It sounded like a war zone. At the same time, my wife is screaming as she's laying on top of my daughter to shield her from gunshots. Because they're hitting cars, buildings, everything all around us. We don't know where they're coming from, what direction or anything. Well, at the same time, or maybe 30 seconds after that, we hear the back stairwell just filling with people, and they're trying to get outside or they're trying to get in our residence as well. So I'm on the inside with my left hand, holding the door shut with a butcher knife in my right hand, thinking, I don't know what's outside this door. Gunshots are still going off, and in my Facebook post, I used the term "go medieval" on the first person that comes through this door because I don't know who's outside. Well, I'm holding the door. It seemed like eternity. It probably wasn't longer than 30 seconds. The cops come. They all scatter. And so then the aftermath unfolds. And when I was talking to the police and so forth, there were over 80 rounds originally that CSI told me. However, I found another dozen or so the next morning, as well as the detective found some. And the irony to this story is that, yes, my wife's car, she had a Toyota 4Runner, which took approximately 15 bullets to it, which at the time I was upset, but I think it was a blessing because the trajectory from where the shooters were to my daughter's bedroom, that Toyota 4Runner took 15 bullets that potentially would have went through that window. So we were blessed in that regard. Ultimately, there was over 100 shots fired of both 9mm and .45 caliber. My Tesla parked outside, which took a couple bullet holes, recorded the entire event. So that next morning, I downloaded the events from Sentry from my cameras on my Tesla and realized I had the entire aftermath. So here's what happened. Two guys pulled up across the alleyway, turned off their lights, and sat there. A party goer comes downstairs, gets in his car, does something in there, I don't know what, stands up out of his car. When he stood up out of his car, the two perpetrators across the way jump out of their car. The driver's got a 9mm with a switch in it, so it became a fully automatic weapon. The passenger has a .45 caliber handgun. They shot more than 80 rounds in that short burst of time. The guy that was being shot at ducks back towards the entrance to the Airbnb and returns fire back at the two that were in the car. They get in their car. They bolt out of there. The guy that was being shot at disappears off camera as well. Well, that's when my camera picked up all the party goers that were coming down the stairwell and exiting the building. So I have a lot of video footage that I gave over to the police as well. And in hindsight, I do believe that most of the folks that were trying to kick in my door and get in my door were innocent bystanders upstairs, but they realized that they couldn't exit the first floor because there were gunshots everywhere. So they did what they thought they needed to do, is try to get to safety, which was in my Airbnb. However, I wasn't able to. I was able to keep it shut long enough for them not to get in. So it was the most harrowing experience of my life.
So this was all happening in the alley, right, and not in the front?
Yeah, it was all behind. It was all in the alley. Yeah, over 100 rounds were recovered in that alley and in the stairwell, or adjacent, right outside the stairwell. For the party goers.
And you said that you turned over all that video evidence to the police. What did they tell you?
It's ongoing right now. I did see this morning that they they were able to enhance some of my pictures, got a clear video and picture of the getaway vehicle. It's on the Crime Stoppers page now for the St. Louis Police Station. I actually upped the ante and will offer another $500 to anybody that comes forward with evidence that leads to some incarcerations here. So, it was myself, my recovering daughter, and my wife. I feared for my life in a way I never have before.
I cannot imagine. And what you said, just to clarify too, you guys were on the first floor, correct, of that Airbnb. So when you're talking about the 4Runner being between your daughter's window and the gunfire, that car really was the only barrier.
It was the only barrier. The only other blessing is that it was a brick building. So it had an older brick building, downtown there. So it had good bones. And unlike, like a modern day building, which might be siding and 2x4s and, this was a really sturdy building, so no bullets got through into the first floor residence of ours. However, the next door neighbor did incur bullet holes through their window. Luckily, it was not their bedroom window.
Yeah, and so you're positive. So based on your story, those people that were involved or being shot at, they were definitely staying in the same Airbnb, but it was just upstairs, right?
Absolutely, 100%. I have them all exiting on camera too.
And so the Airbnb company, my understanding is maybe there's an ownership not local here, that they might be in California. You've had contact with them?
So this is what I want to bring to light. Airbnb was fantastic. We stayed at an Airbnb. They vetted us. The Airbnb owner called us that morning. Airbnb called us. They credited us the $1,600 we paid to stay at their facility, as well as comped us another $1,000 on our account. So Airbnb was, they reached out to us right away. However, the upstairs is through Booking.com. Booking.com has not been any help whatsoever. I reached out to them, and they basically said, "We don't care."
Oh, what can you recall their exact words? How they and I'm sure you presented to them the entire story. But what did they say?
It's tough to ascertain how many, because they don't have published a phone number, so it's all through emails and text messages. I don't know if I'm talking to AI bot versus a human being on the other end. So a lot of it, you can read it and say that, you know what, they didn't even answer my question. Like, that's not even a human being. But the final one, I said, there was an attempted murder here. 2 people were in fact shot. I'd appreciate talking to a human being. And the response I got, if there was a shooting, call the police. That was it.
Yeah. Like, not our problem is what they were
Not our
saying.
problem. I did also reach out because I looked at Booking.com and I looked up who was advertising this. And obviously, the first name of the owner and a contact is there, like an email. I emailed the owner as well. And to date, I have not heard back whatsoever. So both the owner of the upstairs Airbnb and Booking.com have taken zero ownership to this whatsoever, even though they rented this out to a local person for a one-night stay. And to add insult to injury, they cut the cameras about 5 o'clock when they arrived. We told them that. They didn't do anything about it. They just kind of shrugged their shoulders, and this was told to me by the police. So they knew that they were already up to mischievous things. If the first thing they do is cut the cameras to their Booking second level apartment.
They physically. What do you mean by they cut the cameras? They turned them off, and you're talking about the tenants, right?
Yeah, the people. But when they checked it, I don't know how the procedure works for Booking.com. But I do know that that the Booking.com residents had security cameras. Those cameras were cut. And I know that because my Airbnb host communicates with the guy upstairs. Obviously, one owns the downstairs, one owns the upstairs. And the guy upstairs said, "Hey, something would happen to my cameras. Can you have your tenants check on them?" And so I just went outside and I see that they did in fact cut the line.
Wow.
Physically cut with knives or scissors. Okay, I got you.
I don't know.
Did you were you able to tell from the videos if most or all of the people at the party and the shooting were teenagers, like clearly, or was it hard to tell which ones were teens, which ones might have just been young adults?
Teen, young adult, they were all young.
Yeah.
Because my Tesla recorded very clear footage of all of their faces. If I could count freckles on their faces. That's how clear the pictures of my Tesla were. I don't know their ages.
Right.
They're young. They're young. Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Sometimes, if they're teens, it's very hard to tell if they're younger than that. Okay, so just it was young adults or teens at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so police have all of that. They've got their faces. They have all the evidence they need, correct?
Yeah, I gave them my Tesla hard drive so that they could get any information that they needed off of that. Because, and I put a Facebook post out the next morning. I only have like 200 Facebook friends, but the post went viral to over 1 million people now.
Wow.
It's the craziest thing I've ever been a part of. Like 700 shares and 1 million views. I don't know. I've met 1 million people in my life. But in that exchange because it gets shared and shared again. And so when people post on other sites, it shows up on my feed. A lot of the party goers are commenting on my posts. So they're there saying, take my photo down. I didn't have anything to do with it or this. And my response to them was, I'll take your photo down when you identify this person, and this person. And then it just got to be people I don't even know tagged onto it, and it turned into a racial war and everything else. And so I kind of let it go. I exchanged communication with them briefly, but I don't know that anybody's been caught to date.
This is just awful. Can I ask you, how is your daughter doing, having gone through that surgery and then hearing the gunshots? Her mom's on top of her to block her from the bullets. I mean, as much as you feel comfortable sharing, how is she doing?
So my daughter's doing remarkably well. Dr. Molina is a fantastic surgeon, and luckily at the time was the day after surgery, so she was still on heavy pain meds and just doesn't have a clear understanding of everything that happened. My wife, on the other hand, is shooken. She is scared to go anywhere, do anything, doesn't trust anybody. Her outlook on people has changed.
Well, I'm glad physically she and your daughter and you are all okay, but it's really unfortunate you had to go through all of that. And that's a neighborhood I lived in, up until last summer. Moved to a different neighborhood in the city, and it's shocking that something like that did happen there. I was only a couple of blocks away from where this occurred, where you stayed.
Yeah, do you think
it seemed like?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It seemed like a nice neighborhood during the day. People are out walking their dogs, going from cute girls going for a run without with headphones in. It seemed like and I still believe it's a really nice neighborhood. They just imported the riffraff.
Do you feel you're from Illinois? Are you from the Metro East?
No, I'm from Peoria, Illinois.
From Peoria. Okay. Do you feel like you look at St. Louis differently, or like that it doesn't feel like a safe city to you, or like you said, just isolated?
Well, first of all, I do think I don't know about isolated, because you hear reports about, gunfire and shootings in St. Louis or East St. Louis all the time. But I will never stay in St. Louis again. If I have to go to a doctor appointment at Barnes Jewish, we are in and out of the city as fast as can be. This has tainted my views of the city as a whole, and maybe unjustly, but that's where my feelings are at.
Well, again, we are glad you are okay and the family is okay, and hope, at least physically anyway, and hopefully emotionally can get past all of it. Mike, thank you very much for visiting with us today and telling us your story.
We're very sorry.
No problem. Have a great day.
That is Mike Kelsey again, his daughter having surgery, and then the situation happening in the Central West End where the Airbnb they stayed at was shot up. It'd be nice if Booking.com was a little more helpful with them, because that's an awful thing to have happen. And again, and he was not exactly sure whether or not he was talking to AI when he was trying to reach out to Booking.com, or if it was somebody who just did not care. But it seems like that was the overall sentiment. They did not care about what happened. And hopefully police can find these dudes and take care of it. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey, this is Kevin Wheeler, and I want to tell you about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores, and you can find a location at supplementsuperstores.com. Look, Burn Balance Complex is different, okay? It's a game changer. It is a complete, all-natural metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. If you're someone that doesn't want to get a prescription, if you don't want to go get injections, Burn Balance Complex can get your metabolism rocking the way that it's supposed to, and you notice it really early on, because you start to notice clothes are fitting a little differently. You're seeing results, which then kind of gives you motivation to keep on going, right? Well, on top of the metabolism boost, you're also going to notice reduced stress with lower cortisol levels, appetite and craving control, which is absolutely critical to staying on a plan, plus all-day focused energy, no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. And look, it's not magic. You got to do the work, but Burn Balance Complex has made that work so much easier for me. It'll do the same for you. So get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off right then and there, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
When was the last time you watched your home movies? Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for: their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick. And I'm Adam.
We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Cozy season is ahead, and you'll be spending way more time inside. Is your home ready? Don't worry. With Wayfair, you can upgrade your space without breaking the bank. Score up to 70% off during their Labor Day clearance on furniture, area rugs, mattresses, and more. Plus, surprise flash deals you can't miss. Whether it's one room or the whole house, Wayfair has pieces for every style and budget.
Shop Wayfair's Labor Day clearance now through September 7th at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You know, most sellers put their home on the market and they just wait to see what happens. Well, I'm Kevin Wheeler, and I'm here with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And Gloria, is there a better way to sell?
There is. Instead of listing your home the traditional way and hoping for the right buyer, I can get you up to 8 competitive cash offers right from the start. That means you're not guessing what your home might sell for. You're looking at the real offers and choosing the one that works the best for you. It also helps you to set the right price and create stronger demand if you decide to go to market. It gives you control, leverage, and a clear path forward before you accept just any offer. And remember, I'll guarantee to sell your home at 100% of the market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Before you sell your home, see what your options are. Call the one that I trust. That's Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Shows, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
100 years of service and still at your service. KMOX.
You know, I love going to the zoo. In fact, I went to the zoo on Friday night for a, I don't even know what they call it, but it was like a booze tasting event.
What? You didn't invite, did you invite Matt?
No, you guys weren't invited at all.
Did Mark Maxwell
This was
invite
the
you?
same
Mark
night as
did.
my concert at the old Rock House, and he opted to go to the zoo.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
correct.
That was the night I opted to go to bed.
Yeah. So at least one of us did something fun.
Two of us.
Who was the
Two of you.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a really good time. You know, and while I was there, I never one time. Actually, I take that back. I did think about climbing into the bear cage because there's a cool little. I think it was a Kodiak bear, or maybe it was a black bear. I'm not sure. But he
Wow.
was sleeping on some rocks.
How old were you?
How old was I?
This was this most recent time?
This was Friday.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was Friday.
Yeah, and I
Oh.
thought about, man, it'd kind of be nice to be in there with that guy, see what he has to say. I didn't actually do it, though,
Yeah.
because I have sense. But apparently, that doesn't really stop everybody.
No. So a man was taken into custody. This was a couple of days ago. It was around 5 p.m. at the zoo. He was in big cat country. And according to the zoo, the man climbed over a fence and onto a barrier of artificial rock like they have in big cat country. And then he just sat on the rock directly above the actual habitat. He didn't come into contact with the animals, but obviously he had to scale a fence and was very, very close. He was technically in big cat country.
Was this a form of protest? Was he crazy? Was he trying to prove something?
So-
was he just hammered?
no,
Okay.
yes, I don't know, I don't know.
Okay.
In that order.
Okay.
So he had to have been crazy.
So
Big
most
cat
likely,
country?
yeah.
Honestly, I am more afraid of big cats than I am bears even.
You are?
And you're going to die from both.
Well, yes.
Because they're genetically wired to be incredible predators, right? They're great, and they will rip you to shreds.
Well, so are bears.
But bears...
What you do...
a lot of bears are more like omnivores. Like black bears don't want to eat you. They really don't. If you are...
But you don't run from them, because if you do, then they're pre-wired to come after you.
True. But if you see a big cat, it's because the big cat wants you to see it, and it's going to come get you. But if you run into a black bear and you're backing up, and you are generally not going to get attacked by a black bear. That is very rare.
I think, I know there are certain cats. I'm not sure it's all of them, but I do think it's leopards at least, that they just have this instinct that if you turn your back on them, they go into pounce mode, where they go into stalking and then pounce mode, where it's just there's something about you turning your back to them where they are ready to go.
Same with,
and that's terrifying.
Yeah, same with running, obviously.
Yes.
Even if you're running at them, away from them, that's why you do. If you are jogging alone in the mountains, for instance, where there are mountain lions, you are prey. And if you start running, they recognize running as that's something my prey does.
That's right.
My prey runs.
So don't run.
Yeah.
Don't you think, though, this guy, that because he got into the bear or to the cat place, the cat house, that he should...
Big cat country?
Yeah, big cat country. I mean, he made it out alive. I think he should be invited back formally. The zoo should extend a formal invitation to him to be in the big cat country again. Don't you think?
Against his will?
No, just we could supervise you and you can hang out with the cats. But whatever happens to you, sorry.
That, as long as there is no danger to the cats. I don't want to stress out the cats.
No, they'll just get something
presence.
to eat. It'll be something other than chunks of meat. They'll actually get to hunt something.
Why are you spritzing me with barbecue sauce?
That's not good. That's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Man, we have a big Gas House gang coming up at 12 o'clock because Bernie Miklasz, Tom Ackerman, me, we will all be visiting with Oliver Marmol, the manager of the Cardinals. They start a series tonight at Busch Stadium against the Orioles. 5:50 pregame show, 6:45 first pitch. But we've got Ollie coming up on the show in about 30 minutes from now. You will want to stick around here for that. And speaking of the Cardinals and the O's at Busch, if you think you know who's going to hit a home run tonight, well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with daily dingers. That's right. On Tuesdays, it is Dinger Tuesday, actually, which is even better. And there are a couple of different options that you can take advantage of Dinger Tuesday. And you know what? It doesn't have to be the Cardinals-O's game tonight. It could be any of the ball games on the slate. Pick the one that you are interested in and pick from one of two options. Either the bet reset, which you use on your wager, and then you get refunded in bonus bets if your bet loses, or you get a 50% profit boost. So you make your bet, you activate the profit boost, and if that bet hits, that means it's extra winnings at no extra cost. So make your choice, and the reward is going to be right there for you for your next home run bet. Go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to choose your reward for home run bets every Dinger Tuesday. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play ball with the home for home runs on FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All access with Ollie Marmol on the Gas House Gang.
When things aren't going well, I feel like there is a responsibility to answer to it. Even the kid that apologized for yelling, "Let's go, wake up." His seats were the first seats right behind the dugout. You paid good money for those. You get the yell. So if you have an opinion, if you have questions, I'd rather take the time, especially when things aren't going the way our fan base would like, just answer them.
Ollie Marmol, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It is absolutely gorgeous. 80 degrees and sunny and pleasant right now. Actually, just dropped to 79. Even better. A high of 87 today. Tonight, a low of 68. Weather sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Want more cash? You can get a $450 bonus after your first 45 deliveries with Uber Eats. That's a bonus $150 for every 15 deliveries. But what if you're a bike person? Ding Ding is right. You can pedal your way to that $450 bonus on 2 wheels, or 4 wheels, or even no wheels. However you choose to deliver, you can get a $450 bonus after 45 deliveries on Uber Eats. Sign up and start delivering. Complete within 14 days of sign up, ends 11/1. Terms apply. See app for details.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just 1 visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Texter says their nickname in college was Dinger Tuesday. I don't believe it.
Why?
I don't know. Why would Tuesday be the day?
Well, it's got to be
For your
one
dinger.
day. Why? I don't know. Maybe Tuesday is a good day for a dinger.
Well, it is for FanDuel, but I don't know why this person. I'd love to know more about this guy's. I'm assuming it's a dude. It may not be.
I will say this.
I want more of their story.
I was watching years ago, one of the first years they had curling, MSNBC, was covering it. All the NBC stations chip in. It was during the day, so it wasn't primetime coverage. And one of the parents was cheering on their son, who was a curler, and he had a big cowbell. And he said on NBC that he was cheering so much that his dinger popped out. And on MSNBC, they said, and I quote, "Well, you always have to be careful when your dinger pops out." And you could hear the camera crew laughing.
Good Lord.
That happened on MSNBC during the Olympics.
Oh, and we got a follow-up text. He says, Dinger Wednesday was already taken. So
that's a pretty good text.
I guess you could do it whenever you want. Speaking of, did you guys see the lady at the Sox game who was in the front row and caught a home run ball? This is a few days ago. And she was jumping up and down because and everything fell out of her purse.
And when you mean everything, it was, I mean, coins and pieces
money
of
and wallets
makeup and
yes.
like all of it. Usually I feel like you have like 2 things, 3 things in your purse. All of the tiniest items exploded out of her purse. Did you see the follow-up?
Yes.
Because of the help of everyone in the stadium, every single item was recovered. That blows my mind.
It was a lot of individual. There was a wad of money. There was a wallet. There were other things,
Because
makeup, like you said.
When I read that story, I was like, okay, because I pictured maybe 4 or 5 things coming out of her purse. I think 75 items.
Everything. She had the purse around her shoulder. She was just hopping up and down, and then everything flew out. And that got so much national attention. It was really strange.
Probably partly because her entire purse was filled of little items.
Yeah, I guess it was.
I've never seen a purse contents like that.
I saw a woman say, I had that exact same purse. Well, I guess I know what to not take to a baseball game.
Yeah. Anyway, it was really, really funny.
It was cute.
Our little Matthew has a real issue. And he brought this up yesterday, and I will say it is a problem that bothers old people, and it has been bothering old people for years.
Can I ask just real quick about Matt in general? Because he has a lot of old man sensibilities. Do you think he's going to Benjamin Button? Like where he gets older and starts to behave younger and have more of a young person's mindset instead of this old man crap that he does now?
Like a mental Benjamin Button?
Yes.
Like physically he's still aging, but mentally he's just going to be a child?
He will look more and more like Art Garfunkel the older he gets.
Yeah.
But he'll have the mentality.
Honestly, that's if he lives long enough.
Yeah, he may
this
not make
poor
it.
frail
I'm
Victorian
very
child.
feeble and frail, and it's very cold in here.
I love, what was it? Dramatic vulnerability.
Yeah.
That's me.
He is kind of dramatic.
Oh, my God.
Who do you think the most dramatic person in this room is?
I think it's Matt.
No, it's not even
Just
close.
because I cried doesn't mean I'm dramatic.
Matt is quietly dramatic. He's more dramatic than you think he would be.
He walks over to the window with a wistful look in his eye, like, if only I could live to see another day. And he'll like look at you and like rub his hands together because he wants you to see how uncomfortably cold he is.
I ask for more porridge all the time, and I don't get any because I'm starving.
Think of how many times he's almost starved to death. He's like, I gotta get a sandwich.
Oh, dude.
I've been thinking about a sandwich for the past 3 hours. It's the only thing getting me through work.
You would think this man never eats. Like you'd honestly think that he is actually deprived of food.
It feels like it sometimes.
Yeah.
So and he can't have peanuts.
What's your problem now?
I don't have a problem with this, but I've noticed that some people have a problem with this.
Are they old people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Older people tend to have a problem with younger people saying "no problem" instead of "you're welcome," and I think it's very interesting.
So, like, I do a favor for you.
Yep.
And you say thank you, and I say no problem.
Yeah.
That irritates people?
Some people. And I've always heard it from older people, so I don't know if it's a generational thing.
I think it is.
Here's the thing. I don't think there's a difference between you're welcome and no problem, but I do understand where they're coming from. I think their reasoning is, well, why should there be a problem in the first place? You're just doing me a nice favor. There is no problem. So why say...
They're being too literal because when you say no problem, what you're saying is, hey, it's not an inconvenience at all.
Correct.
I don't mind at all. I'm not, this is great. I don't mind at all. It's not like, well, it could have been a problem.
Yeah.
They're just being too literal.
Yeah.
It's not about a problem.
So somebody has expressed this to you? Like somebody has said, I don't like when you do that. Say You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, our text line is coming. I'll just say this.
Yeah.
I can tell by the texts who's old and who's young.
Yeah.
Texting in, but go ahead.
No, I mean, I was gonna say, I think it was like an older family member one time who like wasn't scolding me or anything, but but made that observation that young people tend to say no problem over you're welcome, and it's weird that they would say that, not the more polite thing of you're welcome.
Like the texter that Amy is mentioning says, I didn't ask you if it was a problem. There's a huge difference.
Yeah, see?
Right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I told you. And you said you'd never heard of this issue before.
No, I've never heard of anybody complaining about being told no problem.
Yeah.
That's never
I know
crossed
this
my...
because back in 2019, Charlie Brennan and I had this conversation, and the old people were livid.
Really? The blue hairs were after you?
The line that they used a lot was the one that the texter used. I didn't ask you if it was a problem. Oh, get over yourself. What we're saying, actually, I think it's almost more self-deprecating to say no problem instead of you're welcome. When you say you're welcome, like, oh, you're welcome, I did something good.
Yeah.
No problem is almost kind of self-deprecating, like, oh, no, it wasn't anything. I don't mind. It wasn't like I went out of my way. It's no big deal.
That texter says it's a silent rage. Does that mean...
Who, though?
Like, who's raging? The person who is told no problem, or the belief that the person who says no problem is actually mad about having to do whatever favor they've done? Because I don't think so. I just think it's very simple. You do something for somebody, they say thank you, you're acknowledging the thank you. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you say no problem, no sweat, hey, no big deal, anytime, or you're welcome. It's all the same. It's all effectively the same.
This is a text that I feel echoes what I was just saying. A 314 says, many people have complained to me about no problem, but I think you're welcome means I did something special.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You're welcome almost feels like I did something really special, and
Where
no
is
problem is somewhat self-deprecating.
I'm really surprised by it. I've never
Really?
heard anybody complain about no problem.
I think one of my grandparents didn't like no problem. And I'm like, but it's just kind, like, no, I don't mind.
The biggest jerk move is to say you're welcome when they don't say thank you.
That's what a texter here says.
Really?
Yeah, a texter says, what are your thoughts on saying you're welcome unprompted by a thank you?
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. Well, that means that person did not acknowledge your favor. Like, you hold the door for somebody and they just walk past without saying anything.
It happens.
Thanks. Oh, I appreciate it. And you go, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I think that's acceptable,
That's
actually.
kind of like what you said to the old lady. I don't need to do anything.
Man, I had forgotten about that. I think I finally got over it until you mentioned it.
I don't know who this texter is. I think this texter is mad at no problem. I can't tell. A 314 just says, we don't get upset about it. It happens all the time, and it drives me crazy. I don't know which side they're on.
I think no problem is the side they're on.
Pro no problem or anti no problem?
Anti no problem.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
This texter says, different situations it might be okay. If I thank a waiter for bringing my food, I don't want to hear no problem. Really?
I kind of get it. I feel like I kind of get that one.
Why?
Because they're just doing their job, so there would be no problem.
I've never heard a waiter say no problem.
That's
I've
true,
heard that.
yeah.
I'm sure I have.
Sure thing. You're welcome. Of course. Oh, it's no problem. It's like, of course it's not a problem to do your job of bring food to my table. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That one I kind of get.
So
Well,
look at
no
this.
difference.
The 636 says, what if a host seats you at a table and you say thank you and they say no problem? Well, I hope it's not. It's a GD problem. It's your job.
Yeah, I kind of get it.
So, I understand the thought process. I just think it's wrong because the only thing that matters is that you've acknowledged the thank you. That's it. Somebody has thanked you for something. You're giving an acknowledgement. Because, all right, what if you said nothing at all?
That's worse.
It's obviously it's worse. Somebody says thank you and you don't respond.
What if you brought your sick little pet to the vet and the vet saves your pet's life and you're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. The vet's like, that's no problem.
No, that's not, but people aren't using that way. No one's using it that way. Like, if you... Although, you know what? The next time your little flare-up happens, I have to stab you with an EpiPen. If you say thank you, I am going to say no problem.
Do you have a problem with no worries, as a texter has suggested?
No, it's the same as no problem to me.
So the person I was questioning which side they were on, who said it drives them crazy, they're anti no problem.
Yes.
They said they're immune to its stupidity. It's not stupid. I don't understand.
They say no problem is as bad as is as bad as of course.
I've said of course.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, of course.
I don't know, man.
Like a sure
can,
thing.
Can we stop? Look.
I
Hey,
hate
listen.
this conversation.
Listen, blue hairs.
Oh.
Listen, blue hairs.
Wait, but
If somebody-
I think a lot of it's men too. They're not counted as blue hairs.
All right, blue hair. Yes, they are.
I thought those ladies, because ladies, when they dye it, that's how it gets blue.
I think it's because of. Do you know what I don't know if this is for real, but this is where I think it came from, or this is what I like to think. In what's our favorite Christmas movie? White Christmas.
Yeah.
You know how they've colored it, like they've done the coloring. The general's hair looks blue
Because of Technicolor.
Because of Technicolor.
Yeah. No.
So that's why I like to.
No, but
say
blue
it's
hairs
blue hair.
is older women, because what they would do is blondes will put purple in their hair to take out the brassiness. So older ladies would put blue in their hair to make it whiter.
Yeah. Well,
so that's why it.
I'm using it to describe all old
Oh my
people.
gosh.
All right, blue hairs. Just listen. If somebody says no problem to you, they're just acknowledging that you said thank you. You don't have to lose your pants over it.
Well, we got a lot of old people who've lost their pants in the text line.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
The
And they're
blue
like,
hairs are losing it.
Say it's my pleasure. No, I'll say what I want to say.
Yeah, what
This
the
is
hell?
America.
I'm not working at Chick-fil-A. I'll say whatever the blank I want.
Almost whatever you want.
Yeah. Damn. I do have a problem, and it's a cussing problem. Chris and Amy on KMOX, Gas House Gang with Oliver Marmol starts in about 11 minutes on 104.1 FM KMOX.
And if you have a problem, and it's not a cussing problem, but it's a bug problem, you can call Rottler. Visit Rottler.com. And when you call them, this is important to me, a real person answers the phone. I talked with Chad multiple times, and I just love knowing that I'm going to talk to a real person. They can also dispatch a technician to your home same day or next day. The inspection is free, so whether you are dealing with roaches, spiders, ants, silverfish, whatever is, a pest in your home, in your walls, they can take care of it. They've got the Rottler Promise. Also, don't forget outside, if you're still dealing with mosquitoes, they can reduce mosquito populations around your home. They can reduce tick populations. And don't forget your lawn, your yard. If you're dealing with moles, they've got year-round protection for moles. I mean, Rottler really is your one-stop shop when it comes to pests and protecting your home and your family. Visit them, Rottler.com, Rottler.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
James Beard award-winning chef Kevin Nashin announces The Clydesdale, a Clark Avenue Tavern at Ballpark Village, opening August 27th. KMOX is excited for this highly anticipated American tavern, rooted in familiar favorites, elevated through refined technique and premium ingredients. Reservations for The Clydesdale are now open. Book your table and experience a fresh take on tavern dining on one of the most iconic streets in Major League Baseball. For details and reservations, visit stlballparkvillage.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Running a business shouldn't feel like a juggling act. One app for accounting, another for inventory, one more for sales, and somehow they never work together. Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated platform with all the business applications you need. CRM, inventory, accounting, marketing, and more. All working together seamlessly. Stop juggling software and get back to growing your business. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope Missouri offers free, confidential support wherever you are. Call or text 1-800-985-5990 and connect with a local crisis counselor today. From Missouri Department of Mental Health.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I've had the privilege of seeing miracles, broken families rebuilt, every crash, every workplace injury, every medical mistake. Fighting back can work. We've gone toe-to-toe with insurance giants, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion recovered. Size matters. Reputation matters. Results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Dave. Right now, buy 4 windows and get 4 for free and 48 months with 0% interest, same as cash. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
It's time to get everything you need for the job from one partner. No more juggling vendors. We've got your entire job supply covered. Supply the entire job with job lot quantities of everything you need, from flooring to roofing, with access to thousands of products not available in stores. More products mean more colors, sizes, and finishes, so you can get exactly what you need to get the job done. Learn more at the Pro Desk, the Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's funny you just said what you said.
Okay.
Because you said thanks, Ollie, right? Is that
No,
what you just said?
no. We were talking about how people are mad.
Yeah.
The old people are mad when you say no problem, and it's Ollie Tuesday. And so I said, when you get off the phone with Ollie and you say thanks, Ollie,
Yes.
does he ever say no problem?
I'm not sure, but I'm glad you said that because there was do you remember the person? I don't think it was here. It may have been somewhere else online, Instagram, something, where they filed a complaint informally that they didn't like it when an anchor would go to a reporter in the field, and the reporter would give their report and then say back to you, and the anchor would say thanks, Jim. Don't say thank you. It's their job. Why are you thanking the reporter for doing their job?
Who said that?
This was fairly recent in the last few months.
We thank all of our reporters.
Yeah, I know. But
And
there are people who have an issue with that. I can't
also
imagine
think
it's a lot.
That if you don't thank people for doing their job, you're kind of a because all the time in families and friendships and jobs, Matt does a great job booking guests. You know what I do? Thanks, Matt. That was great. You're acknowledging that they're doing something. You know what I think? We should never thank teachers. They're just doing their job. Never, ever thank a teacher. Never thank a doctor. They're just doing their job. That's the reasoning. That makes no sense. You should always thank people. If you're someone who doesn't thank someone because it's part of their job, you're not a very nice person. Do you agree? We should not thank teachers then, because that's what they're paid to do.
I think we all deserve thanks.
Let's give thanks.
Such a boob.
Let's give thanks and receive thanks.
You know what?
If you would like to thank us for entertaining you for the last 3 hours, well, go right ahead and thank us. And thank you, too.
Has Steve ever said thank you once?
No. In fact, you're right about that one time. Well, you know what? He can go thank himself.
Whoa.
For all I care.
Oh, my gosh.
Steve.
Have you said thank you once?
I think he thanks us after we go to his meetings. He goes, thank you.
He's like, all right, thank you. That's all I got. After he berates us for an hour. All right, thanks. That's all I got. Like, damn. All right. Anything you missed on the show, you know where to find it. Odyssey app, iHeart app, or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll also be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
Sinkholes don't sink.
We have the Gas House Gang coming up next. Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol joins the show in minutes on 104.1 FM KMOX.
people. You always have to be careful when your dinger pops out.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by